Well, well, well. So I decided to do a morning show this morning because there are some things that was talked about on the live yesterday. I did that I want to circle the block on and do some expanding on. Didn't get a chance to listen to Brian Schottenheimer yesterday on the live, so I want to circle back and do all of that. And so, yep, we are live on this Tuesday morning, and we are about to talk Cowboys. Let's go. Yep, we are live. And y'all get ready. We're going to be probably doing this on the regular going forward. We are going to be probably doing an early show, and we're going to be doing an afternoon show. So, y'all ready? Let's go. Let's get it. Welcome, 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 Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And as you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And we are live right now, and we are going to be posting videos all day long, and we will be live again at 4:30. But nevertheless, I am going to give you all the Cowboys content that you can handle. So whether you are at work, whether you are at home, or whether you are at play, turn that radio up, turn that phone up, turn that computer up. We are about to talk Cowboys. We got a lot of great things to talk about today. I'm telling you, we got a lot of great things to talk about. And I'm just telling y'all right now, man, I can appreciate all of y'all. I love this Cowboys community. And I can tell you this, I said it when I started this channel, I'm not going to be arguing with content creators. And I'm not going to be arguing with people who bring content creators' ideas over here. I'm not going to be arguing with you. This is a place you can be if you want to, and if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. But if you're here, I love you and I appreciate your support. Got a great show for you today. Man, I went to bed. I was thinking on some stuff last night, man. I got to go do my research. I go do my research, and I got to come back like Return of the Jedi. I got to come back and tell you some things that we talked about yesterday that I kind of acknowledged that I'm going to tell you now. I'm going to repent of that because it's not true. But again, let me tell you what the show going to be about today. Now, I want y'all who follow me just to always listen to the stuff that I'm telling you so you know that you heard it here first. Because people will come and take stuff that I talk about and then they turn it into their own. But you heard it here first. Today, we're going to talk about the Cowboys' identity. Yeah, they do have an identity. Y'all heard me talking about it the other day. The Cowboys have an identity. And we're going to deal with the Cowboys' identity. We're also going to deal with the subject matter that got brought up yesterday. The cheat Cowboys. I'm going to dispel the mythology. And this is the subject matter I'm going to repent of. The cheat Cowboys. Are the Cowboys cheat? I'm going to show you how cheap the Cowboys are. Next, we're going to listen to Stephen Jones. We didn't get a chance to listen to Stephen Jones yesterday. We're going to circle the block. We didn't get a chance to listen to Dak's message. We're going to get the player reactions. And then I'm going to talk about the NFC East race based on what we saw last night from the Washington Commanders. Then we're going to listen to the shoddy presser that we didn't get to listen to. And then I said I was done with this Trayvon Diggs stuff. But I got to circle the block on Trayvon Diggs. There is some crazy stuff going on with Trayvon Diggs. And I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I told y'all, this Trayvon Diggs situation was either going to be a dud or it was going to be a megaton bomb. This Trayvon Diggs stuff is turning out to be a megaton bomb. And I told y'all it stunk when it first started coming to fruition. It stinks. It absolutely stinks. And it's another one of these reasons I believe the Cowboys and Trayvon Diggs They need to part ways, but we're going to talk about that in a moment. But that's going to be the subject matter for today. Cowboys identity, cheap Cowboys, Stephen Jones, Dak's message, player reactions, NFC East race, Shotty's presser, and the Diggs live. Let's go. Yep, y'all wake up. I'm fired up this morning. I got up with God on my mind, my family, and then the Dallas Cowboys. Yep, we going in this morning. I don't care if it's 5 or 5,000. Brandy, top of the morning to you. What's going on?
Yo, G, bless him, bless him, bless him.
Alicia, what's going on? Good morning. Everybody who at work, shout out to everybody who at work this morning. I hope this is going to let your next 2 hours be easy for you. Tony Nichols, what up with you? Katharina Kiss, what's going on? John Jones said, GM. He said, good morning, G Money. I said, what's going on? It's a New Jack City still. What's going on with you? Hallelujah. Oh, it's the AMG. Salute. Oh, it's A. We gonna start doing it in the morning, Mike. My sister Niecy from the beginning. Been rocking with me from the beginning. What's going on, Niecy? Good to see you this morning. Mills 36. Always good to see you. What's going on? Dolores Ennis, what's going on with you? Good to see you this morning. Brian Worley, what's going on? Good morning. Roy Clay, what's going on? Whoa, Roy Clay. He said, my wife, he said, say a prayer for my wife, she in ICU. Oh, yes, sir. Let me say a prayer. Amen. Got you, Roy Clay. 10% up, my brother. LaQueen, what's going on? My sister from the beginning, still rocking. Let's go. All right, let's get a couple more in here. Dominique Pittman in this thing as always. What up with you, Dominique? Davion Wallace, what's going on? Yeah, we're going to start the morning show. We got to do it. Get right or get left. He said Eberflus has built-in excuse for his ineptitude injuries. Once those injured starters come back and the defense still sucks, he has to go. Save those picks and allow Shotty to pick his own DC. We're going to talk about it. Yeah, Niecy. Niecy, this Cowboys team has been Hyde and Jekyll for the last 5 years. Yes, that is what I'm calling this Dallas Cowboys. That is their identity, Niecy. They are Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They do have an identity. Dak Prescott said we haven't found our identity. Yes, you have. Until you get the cure. Until you get the cure, you are Dr. Jekyll and you are Mr. Hyde. Edward Frazier, what's going on? Hey, Edward Frazier, don't you worry. I've already been talking about this. People couldn't wait to blame Dak. It wasn't Dak. Dak suffered from a terrible, terrible game. Brian Schottenheimer had to have called one of the worst games of the season. This dude was calling plays like a punk. I said it on Sunday night and I'm gonna stick to it. Brian Schottenheimer, I mean, I'm telling you, he calls games scared on the road and he calls games like a doggone champion at home. Sub-Zero, what's going on with you? Richard Johnson Jr., what up with you? Let me see, can I read this? Magdalena, Jesus. Hey, I got you, Magdalene. Let's just say Magdalene. What's going on with you? Tim Pannell, what's going on? What's going on with you this morning? I got you, Mock WLS1. What's going on with you? Angie the Rebel Chicks. What's going on this morning, my unofficial co-host? All right, let's get into this. I'm just telling you, I'm not buying the white. Y'all can have any opinion you want to. You know I'm never going to criticize you for your opinion. I'm not buying the white cotton thing. I'm not buying the white cotton thing. I'm just not buying it. And the reason why I'm not going to gas myself up on that whole white cotton or any other defensive guy on this defense It all sounds good theoretically, but I just want to stay in reality, because the wouldas, shouldas, and the couldas, those are the things to me that damage us as Cowboy fans. We got to stay in reality. We got to stay with who the Cowboys are. And we have to accept who they are. Now, you don't have to accept it. It don't change it. That's what I mean by reality. You not accepting who the Cowboys are don't change who the Cowboys are. This is why I'm talking about the Cowboys' identity off the top.
Yes! Here we go!
Dak Prescott said something in his press conference that I thought was I thought he said something that was pretty interesting, and I want you to hear the end of it. I did a video on this the other day, but I want you to hear something that Dak Prescott said, because we're going to listen to this part of it, then we'll come back and hear the rest of Dak's message on that particular part. But Dak Prescott talks about the Cowboys' identity. I'll get to the thing about the Cowboys coach and all of this stuff as we get to the cheap Cowboys. How about that? But I want to talk about the Cowboys' identity. Because even the Matt Eberflus stuff, it all goes into the Cowboys' identity. And Dak Prescott was saying that, he's talking about the Cowboys' identity and identifying who we are. No, they have an identity. They have an identity. Not only do they have an identity, whether people realize it or not, we got to stay in reality. And this was the message I had yesterday. We have to stay in reality. And the reality is we have an identity. We may not like the identity, but we have an identity. And at this point, we are who we are. Dominique Pittman, I'm not going to tell you I'm going to destroy your argument, but I'm about to destroy your argument. I'm going to blow your argument to smithereens, with all due respect. You know I love you, Dominique Pittman. But I'm going to destroy your argument. And you can call the Cowboys cheap, but I'm going to destroy your argument. I'm going to destroy it from a perspective that's going to blow your mind. But no, the Cowboys actually are not as cheap as we are telling ourselves the Cowboys are cheap. Because I'm telling you right now, cheap is not the Cowboys' problem. And I'll get to that when we get to the cheap Cowboys. Nisi, spitting facts this morning. She said this identity didn't start with Dak. It goes back to Romo's era. Romo, remember, 8-8. And Nisi, I'm going to tell you something that's funny. Dak isn't the problem in this. Dak isn't the problem in this Dr. Jekyl and Mr. Hyde issue. Dak Prescott isn't the problem. It is some of the decisions that the Cowboys have made around Dak Prescott. It is some of the decisions. And I'm going to tell you something, Nisi, also that goes back to Tony Romo that a lot of people don't really want to acknowledge. We've actually always had a problem with defense. We've had a problem with defense for a very long time. Even during the Tony Romo era, we had problems with defense. We had our moments where we were good at defense, but consistently, we have not been very good at defense. And one of the reasons why we haven't been consistently good at defense is because Jerry Jones, and y'all know I love me some Jerry Jones, but Jerry Jones loves offense. Jerry Jones loves offense. Jerry Jones kind of looks at the Cowboys historically. And Jerry Jones thinks about the historically great offensive players for the Cowboys. You think about what Jerry Jones does. Jerry Jones, for example, wants all of the good receivers to wear number 88 because that was Drew Pearson's number. Drew Pearson, a Hall of Fame, all-time great Cowboys wide receiver. And so Jerry Jones, He always kind of wants that mold of the old Mystique Cowboys, thinking about the offense of the Cowboys, the Roger Staubachs, the Tony Hills, the Drew Pearsons, the Tony Dorsetts. You think about the Cowboys have always been kind of known for the tight end position. You go to the Cowboys of the 90s, you got Troy, you got Mike, you got Emmett. I mean, Novacek, Doug, you think about all of these offensive players the Cowboys have had that have been great. But what Jerry has forgotten is the defense. Jerry has not been able to put together a defense. Jerry has been able to give this franchise, we can just name over the last few years. I still say they lucked up on Tony Romo. I think they lucked up on Dak Prescott. But they've put some great players around Dak Prescott. They put some great players around Tony Romo. And I still contend, but they have not put a team around these quarterbacks. And they're getting to this point with Dak Prescott. But I told y'all this. But I know something about us as Dallas Cowboy fans. It's been 30 years since we won a Super Bowl. I get it and I understand it. But this is our reality. The Cowboys are doing things better. All I can tell you is they are doing things better. But here's the problem. I told y'all this. Rome wasn't built in a day, and I told y'all before this season started. You can go back and check my videos. I did video after video on this. And I told people how unrealistic it is to bring in a rookie coach, a rookie defensive coordinator, a whole new offensive and defensive staff. Let me put y'all back into remembrance, because some people got y'all way out in the stratosphere. Let me bring you back down to earth. Brand new coach, brand new offense, brand new defense, implementing a brand new culture, putting all that together in one season. And we got folk out here losing their minds as if the Cowboys were going to the Super Bowl. What did I tell y'all? The Cowboys will flash. They're going to show you that they have Super Bowl potential. But it's going to take another year to get this team where it needs to go. Somebody sent me something on X this morning. You know what they told me? They told me, G, you were right all along. You said it. You said they were building to win in 2026. Have I not told y'all this? Because what the Cowboys have done, whether we love it, like it, or hate it, they built the first part of the best roster in football, the offense. Because that's what Jerry always seems to focus, the offense. They went and built the ultimate offense, and it still needs tweaking, because Tyler Guyton and Terrence Steele, and y'all know I don't curse, but I'm telling you this, Tyler Guyton and Terrence Steele got their butts whipped on Sunday. I mean, they got whipped with the belt and the buckle all over that thing. They still got to figure out this. They still need to figure out this offensive tackle thing. I really think the Cowboys are going to have to really consider moving Guyton to right tackle and saying, say la vie to Terrence Steele. Move Guyton to right tackle. Thomas I'm not sure you go with Thomas at the left tackle. Maybe you go in the draft, or maybe you trade, or whatever the case. They don't have a cornerstone left tackle, and they're trying to make Tyler Guyton into it. I'm not saying that Tyler Guyton will not be a cornerstone left tackle. But I just don't think he's a cornerstone left tackle right now. He is not a cornerstone left tackle. This dude got his butt whooped. But overall, the Cowboys offense, it's built to win. It's built to win. But the defense, The Cowboys are going to focus entirely on defense next season. And in 2026 is when we're going to see the Cowboys take off. Now, what I can't tell you in the Cowboys' identity, I don't know exactly what the Cowboys are going to do with Matt Eberflus. All I can tell you is this. For every game the Cowboys play, it makes less and less sense to get rid of Matt Eberflus. And if the Cowboys don't cut Matt Eberflus loose by the bye week, which I'm struggling with them doing it because I don't think they're going to do it. That's the reality. I don't think they're going to do it. Because they've already said the biggest mistake they have made is 3 different defensive coordinators over the last 3 years. And if they let go of Matt Eberflus, it's going to be number 4. And I'm going to say something that y'all not going to like this morning. I'm going to say something that some of y'all are not going to like. Some of this is the players. Some of this is the players. I talked about this last year with Mike Zimmer. And I'm seeing the same thing. I'm seeing the same thing with Matt Eberflus. From this perspective. Dan Quinn spoiled some of these players on defense. He spoiled them. Dan Quinn, for as much as he couldn't stop the run, what Dan Quinn was, though, he was good at. If the Cowboys could get a lead, Dan Quinn could pretty much keep it. Because once we got a lead, he had Micah Parsons. And the one thing that Micah Parsons can do that I'll never take away from Micah Parsons can rush the passer. He is the definition of a pass rusher. Nope, he's not a defensive end. Forget about it. Don't even talk to me about him being a defensive end. That's not what he is. He is a pass specialist, a pass rusher specialist. And when you let him loose, if he gets one-on-one, I agree with him. 8 times out of 10, he's beating it. If he's facing a bad team, he's going to beat it 10 out of 10. If he's facing a bad team, even on a double team, he probably going to beat the double team 6 out of 10 times. Does he get held a lot? Yeah, he gets held a lot. Because he is he borderline freak athlete. He thrived in a Dan Quinn defense. Trayvon Diggs thrived in a Dan Quinn defense. Because Dan Quinn, I said it before, that mercenary style of defense. Hey, get to the ball. Get to the ball, get to the quarterback, create turnovers. Diggs and Bland in that defense could take all kinds of chances and in a mass to interceptions. We may not realize it, but it was also feast or famine sometimes. But we didn't mind it. Bland could get 6 interceptions and return them for touchdowns, but he could also get burned for touchdowns. Trayvon Diggs could get interceptions. Sometimes he get burned for touchdowns. We didn't mind. But in the grand scheme of things, because they were scoring points, and once they got ahead, that defense looked great. The problem is we got smoked in the playoffs, even though Dan Quinn changed that defense up, and that's a whole different story. But in the grand scheme of things, this defensive unit, since Dan Quinn, they've been struggling. They've been struggling. I didn't say struggling. I said struggling. They've been struggling. They have been struggling to adapt to anything else. Because I'm telling y'all, Dan Quinn gave that defense a lot of freedom. A lot of freedom. And again, Angie, I'm going to tell you something. You said who chose those players. Hey, I'm going to push back on that. Mike McCarthy said it clear as day. And James Jones even came back and agreed. James Jones said, I can see that. Do y'all remember when Mike McCarthy came out after Dak Prescott said that Mike McCarthy need to have a more say-so over personnel? And this dude, Mike McCarthy, came out and said, I don't know what Dak Prescott is talking about because I do have a say-so in personnel. Even Mike Fisher this morning said, or it was yesterday morning, he said, contrary to what people think, the coaches do have say-so in the players that they bring on this team. That is a myth. And if we don't think that Brian Schottenheimer and Matt Eberflus's fingerprints are all over the players, I mean from Matt Eberflus to White Cotton to all of this, to some of these coaches on this team, their fingerprints are all over the players that are on this team currently. Their fingerprints are all over them. Who do you think got Javonte Williams? Who do we think that choice is? Do we actually think that Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones looked out there in the running back landscape and said, of all the running backs, how about we get Javonte Williams? Javonte Williams has Brian Schottenheimer written all over. Javonte Williams has Brian Schottenheimer written all over him. Who do we think wanted Tyler Booker? Who do we think wanted Tyler Booker? Tyler Booker has Jerry Jones and Brian Schottenheimer written all over. George Pickens. Who do you think wanted George Pickens? Will McClay said Jerry Jones and who? Brian Schottenheimer. Some of these players, they have not just been brought in by Jerry and the front office. They have been brought in by these coaches and Jerry Jones. These coaches have wanted these players. And you can literally go down the line and you can look at some of these players and you can tell that some of these players got some of these coaches. Solomon Thomas. Who do you think wanted Solomon Thomas? Do we really think Jerry Jones looked out into the defensive tackle landscape and said, yeah, Solomon Thomas? Somebody presented Solomon Thomas to Jerry Jones, and his name is White Cotton. There are players on this team. They are the result of these coaches. We got to stop giving Jerry Jones all of this credit like Jerry Jones is some football savant looking out there in this landscape going, yeah, let's get this player, this player, this player. Somebody has to bring these players to Jerry Jones and say, let's get this player. Some of it's Will McClay, but some of it are these coaches. Yes, some of this are these coaches. They have gotten, and I'm telling you now, Dan Quinn wishes the Cowboys would have gave him some of the defensive players that they gave Matt Eberflus. Because I do believe that Dan Quinn, because Dan Quinn is a culture builder himself. Problem with Dan Quinn, those things don't typically last over a long period of time. I mean, we're kind of looking at the Commanders, and they're not looking the same. And some of that personnel over there in Washington, Dan Quinn wanted to bring in some of them old players. And some of that stuff ain't panning out. But I digress. Dan Quinn is one of these, they love Dan Quinn. Because Dan Quinn, one thing about him, if you could get him a lead, Dan Quinn can pretty much keep that lead. Because Dan Quinn was very good at the hustle of his players, getting after the quarterback, all these different things. Dan Quinn is a, lack of a better, he's a very good coach. Dan Quinn's a very good coach, especially if he has players. But again, some of these players, they are the product. They are the product of these coaches. Now, let's think about this offensively. Offensively, the Cowboys got a lot of continuity. Why? Because Brian Schottenheimer was already on staff. Brian Schottenheimer was already on staff. And the reality is, some of the things that they're running offensively, they look eerily like Mike McCarthy sometimes. Brian Schottenheimer didn't change up a lot on this offense. What they changed on this offense, if you really look at it in the grand scheme of things, is this dude, Clayton Adams. What they changed up was their blocking schemes in the run game. That's where they made the big changes. This dude, Clayton Adams, is not getting enough credit for what he's done for this team in the run game. Because the run game is actually the biggest improvement on the offense. Dak Prescott been putting up numbers. Y'all do know this, right? Dak Prescott been putting up numbers. 2020, what was it? 2023. I mean, you can go all the way back. I forget the year that Dak was hurt in there. But you can go all the way from 20 to 2023. Dak Prescott has been putting up numbers. What changed? Two things. George Pickens, Clayton Adams, and that run blocking scheme. That's what changed. That's what changed. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot. But what do we do on defense? Same bone-headed thing we've been doing. We got rid of Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn went to the Washington Commanders. We didn't get rid of him. We bring in Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer was absolutely atrocious. We got a bad memory. Mike Zimmer was absolutely atrocious in the beginning, and it wasn't until the end of the season that Mike Zimmer finally started gaining some steam. But again, it wasn't that he was just killing it. It was that he was better than what he was in the beginning. What do? We bring in Matt Eberflus. And I'm laughing at these people who are talking about Matt Eberflus. This is why I'm not listening to a lot of the talk about Matt Eberflus. Because I talked about Matt Eberflus at the beginning of the season, and I talked about what a problem he was, and there were people who saying he wasn't a problem. This is why I'm not listening to all the Matt Eberflus talk. People were not killing Matt Eberflus. They were not killing him. They're killing him now. But they were not killing him when I brought the question up and I said, I'm concerned about Matt Eberflus. I made that video at the beginning of the season, and I talked about all the problems with the Matt Eberflus defense. I did. And I said it then, and it's coming true. It has come to fruition. Go back and watch the video. The Matt Eberflus defense requires super studs all over the field. Absolute super studs. I'm not talking about just athletic players. I'm talking about not only athletic players, I'm talking about players that can think. Angie, I don't even agree with you on the we like our guys. I don't agree with you. Because Nisi has made one of the greatest comments on the channel, and I have echoed it before. Nisi said it's strange how we get mad at the front office for liking our guys while liking our guys. We'll be the same people talking about the Cowboys like our guys. And then we'll be the same people fighting for an Ezekiel Elliott who we know is way past his prime. We'll be the same people fighting for a Trayvon Diggs that we know Trayvon Diggs ain't nowhere near what he used to be. We'll be the same people saying we like our guys, and then we'll be arguing for our guys. I'm not even buying that comment no more. I'm not buying that comment no more. This did not start this year. This didn't start this year. Our memory is way too short. We were terrible last year at defense. We were a lie in 2023. We were being carried by Dak Prescott. We were being carried by the fact we were getting turnovers. We were playing with leads. We were getting turnovers. We were getting sacks. We were the product of a high-powered offense. Cowboys Fan Talk posted something this morning. I thought it was very interesting what he posted on X. Cowboys Fan Talk asked the question. He said, when is the last time Dak Prescott was carried to a victory? When is the last time? When is the last time that Dak Prescott was carried to a victory? Even under Dan Quinn, whether we accept it or not, Dan Quinn's defense was a product of a Dak Prescott in an offense that could put up points. And Dan Quinn's defense was built to play with a lead. That's the one thing Dan Quinn could do. Dan Quinn could play with a lead. Period. In the story. Dan Quinn could play with a lead. The problem is, if you look after 2023, we came back in 2024. We put this dude on a lame duck contract, and the floor fell from up under the Dallas Cowboys, and they got hit with the injury bug, in particular Dak Prescott. We looked great in the first game. We looked terrible every game after that. Running game was terrible. Defense was trash. And then we started getting injured. And now here we are in 2025. Dak Prescott is healthy. They added George Pickens. They added Clayton Adams. They got Connor Riley. They are doing a lot of things right on offense. Problem is, they thought they did things right on defense. And I'm laughing at these people. I'm still laughing at people who killing Matt Eberflus. I'm laughing at you. I'm laughing at you because when I said Matt Eberflus was a problem, them same people were saying he's not a problem. I'm laughing at you. This is why I'm not listening to anybody talking about Matt Eberflus now. I'm not listening to you. You can tell me anything you want to. I'm not listening to you. I said he was a problem when they got him. I made a video first. I said why the Cowboys might ought to be excited about Matt Eberflus. But then when I went back and did the investigation on Matt Eberflus, I came back at the beginning of the season and I talked about, I got concerns about Matt Eberflus. I even talked about this a few weeks ago. I didn't understand why people were saying this man was successful. I didn't understand it. I don't understand what people call success. Because I call success when a defensive coordinator has helped take a team to the AFC, NFC championship games, has won Super Bowls or gotten to a Super Bowl, had an absolute dominant defense where it was a top 5 defense. That's what I call success. When I went back and looked at the history of Matt Eberflus, I was like dumbfounded. I was like, okay, I can see. I mean, he's been good. But the Cowboys didn't need good. The Cowboys needed great. I still say the Cowboys should have got Robert Saleh. I think Rex Ryan might have been better than Matt Eberflus. At least with Rex Ryan, he ain't going out like no sucker. But at the end of the day, Matt Eberflus, the Cowboys are going to have to ask themselves. They're going to have to look at themselves in the mirror. Because I'm just telling you about this fan base. I've been around us long enough. And especially doing what I'm doing on YouTube. I've been around us long enough. Boy, we are so knee-jerk reaction. We are just knee-jerk reaction. We are knee-jerk reaction. We never want to accept reality. We create hypotheticals that are not true, not going to happen. We get ourselves all mad. Then we start getting the lynch mob out, trying to talk about firing Jerry Jones. No, we can't fire Jerry Jones. We get the lynch mob out and start talking about this thing and that thing and what we should do and who we going. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Y'all can thrive on those people all you want to. I'm not doing it. You can listen to who you want to. I'm not going to tell you to listen to. Do what you want to do. I can just tell you here, I'm going to do what I've been doing. I'm staying in reality. I'm staying in reality. I'm not listening. I'm just telling you, I can appreciate what anyone says, but I'm not going back and forth. It is what it is. The Cowboys are what they are, and their identity is they're Dr. Jekyll and they're Mr. Hyde. Period. In the story. We're blaming Matt Eberflus for a problem that we've been had with the exception of Dan Quinn. We've been a high-powered offense with a terrible defense. That's what we've been for a long time. Now, again, the Cowboys thought they fixed this problem. And Jerry Jones loves offense. And he can always get you an offensive player. He can get you some offensive players. But where Jerry has failed, if you go back and look at the track record, defense. Man, the defensive misses the Cowboys have had are insane. I mean, Micah Parsons is an anomaly. He fell into the Cowboys' lap. He is one of the very few. The DeMarcus Lawrences, the Micah Parsons. I mean, they're anomalies in the grand scheme of players the Cowboys have actually found. And even when they pick great players like Sean Lee, injury prone. Cowboys get these great players injury prone. They'll bring in a great player, maybe he's got an injury. We're going to see what's going to happen with Savon Revel Jr. But you think about the Trayvon Diggs. They're far and in between. The DeRon Blands. And I still say we lucked up on DeRon Bland. Man, nobody thought DeRon Bland. Anybody who tell me they thought DeRon Bland was going to be what DeRon Bland is, man, you're lying to yourself. Nobody thought DeRon Bland was going to be half as good as DeRon Bland is now. They have missed and missed and missed on defense. And the one thing that I don't appreciate about Jerry is that Jerry loves to bring in ex-head coaches as defensive coordinators as if they're going to be the best defensive coordinators in the world. Dan Quinn had a certain style of playing. And again, Dan Quinn, I still say he thrived on having a high-powered offense because he could play well with a lead. Because that was the identity of the Cowboys in the Dan Quinn era. They're front runners. How many people didn't hear people saying that about us? They're front runners. And then if we got behind, we get mad that Dak Prescott couldn't pull it out if he didn't pull it out. But now, where are we now? This is who we are. The Cowboys missed on Matt Eberflus. Period. Can I put us in reality? They missed on Matt Eberflus. Now, the question that I don't think we can solve, or the question that I think that is hard to solve, is have we missed on Matt Eberflus because Matt Eberflus is a terrible coach, he's a terrible defensive coordinator, or have we missed on Matt Eberflus because Matt Eberflus is a good defensive coordinator, but the players that he have don't fit the system? Or did we miss on Matt Eberflus because we got terrible players and Matt Eberflus is good? Or did we miss on Matt Eberflus because Matt Eberflus is terrible and some of the players are terrible? Which one is it? This is really where the Cowboys are. And this is why I'm telling you, the Cowboys are looking in the mirror right now, and they're trying to figure out which one is it. I'm telling you, go back and look at the film. Man, some of this stuff ain't the scheme. Man, some of these dudes, we don't want to admit it, they're soft. Some of these people are soft on this defense, and we just got to admit it. They're soft. Let me tell y'all something. There are things that you can't teach in this game. There are things that you can't teach in this game. You can't teach speed. You can't teach heart. Can you teach it? Can you teach heart? Can you teach will? Can you teach a man to go out on the field and give it his all? Can you teach him that? Go look at the film. We got players running around avoiding contact. Defense. They're avoiding contact. They're avoiding it. Can you teach that? How do you teach it? Tell me how you teach it. How do you teach it? Yeah, I'm blaming Eberflus. But some of these players, they're terrible. They're terrible. Bottom line. Some of these players are terrible. And some of these players who are terrible, go back and look at people who were talking about these players. Some of the people thought these players were good. Players they're not good. Y'all remember when people were killing the Cowboys? Y'all remember when people were killing the Cowboys about, ooh, they better sign Oso Digizua. Ooh, the Cowboys are cheap. Ooh, the Cowboys are not going to sign him. Ooh, the Cowboys better not let Oso Digizua walk. Where them people at now? Where they at now? Strange nobody want to have these conversations about Oso Digizua. Yeah, the Cowboys are cheap. We paid Oso Digizua. What's Oso Digizua looking like? I'm telling us, some things you can't teach. And I've already told you where I am. I've already told you where I am. I'm not going to argue about it. I already told you where I am. Blow it up. Your offense is already where you need it. It just needs a little tinkering. The defense, blow it to smithereens. The Cowboys are a product on defense, whether we want to accept this or not. We are a product on defense of players left over from previous regimes that were gotten for one coach, another coach, and they're just a hodgepodge of players that don't fit any system anymore because the Cowboys have just put so many systems in front of them. Blow it up. Period. Blow it up. The offense is great. Blow up the defense. Oh, blow up the defense in the way Dak playing right now. Well, how's the defense playing right now? I'm just giving you the reality. You don't have to like it. I don't care if you like it. I'm just giving you the reality. Let me give you the cruel reality that none of us don't want to hear, because I'm going to give you the cruel reality, because I don't deal in hypotheticals. I'm not doing that stuff. I'm not wasting all my time on hypotheticals on the who should and what they should. I'm not wasting my time on that. If I'm going to do that stuff, I need to go work for the Cowboys. and try to get inside of the organization so that I can help them do some recommendations. I'm not doing that stuff. I'll let y'all go to the people who do that stuff. Go right ahead. I'm not entertaining it, though. I'm not, and I will not entertain it. I'm going to give you the cruel reality so that you can continue to enjoy this season knowing who we are rather than you watching the season just hating the Dallas Cowboys and just sitting there and just hating and burning up and stewing and blah, 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 because you won't accept who the Cowboys are. No, I'm going to tell you who the Cowboys are. You can love it, like it, or hate it. Even if they get rid of Matt Eberflus, if they don't change the players, it's the same thing all over again. The Cowboys need to let some of these players walk. But let me give the more cruel reality. But for right now, you can tell me anything you want to. But the Cowboys are in a figure-4 headlock on defense. Bring in a new coach all you want to. You still got these same players. And some of these players, whether we want to accept it or not, they are soft. And you go to the trade deadline all you want to. And you can bring in a Max Crosby. We can bring in a Max Crosby. Will a Max Crosby help us some? You better believe he will help us some. Demarion Overshown coming back. Will he help us some? You better believe he'll help us some. Savon Revel Jr. if he plays well. Josh Butler if he comes back and plays well. Will they help us some? Yes. But the question is how much? Because at the end of the day, you still got the same system. And if you don't have the same system, so you're telling me that White Cotton, you telling me that even Rex Ryan, you telling me anybody who you want to talk about, y'all do know there's a reason why you have training camp, right? Y'all do know there's a reason why we have training camp, right? Nate Newton has made the best point that I've heard almost anybody make, and nobody's talking about it. Nate Newton said it perfectly. The Cowboys were hiding their defense and their offense, and then on the first game of the season, they started trying to implement a defense that they actually hadn't really been practicing the whole time. Make it make sense. This defense had a training camp with Mike Zimmer and still didn't get it to Thanksgiving. Tell me what you want to. Tell me what you want to. This defense had a training camp with Mike Zimmer. And last year on Thanksgiving, Michael Parsons said, yeah, we finally got the D on Thanksgiving. What? So you telling me that we gonna bring in, man, I ain't even talking about White Cotton. Tell me who the best defensive coordinator is in the league. Tell me who it is. I don't care if we bring in Vance Johnson. Do you really think that Vance Johnson is going to implement a defense to this team, to these defensive players who struggled with Mike Zimmer, who are now struggling with Matt Eberflus, and really wasn't great even under Dan Quinn? You telling me that a new defense coordinator, what he gonna do in a bye week? He gonna turn the defense around in the bye week. Not buying it. Hot boy, he said the Cowboys are a man-to-man defense with this personnel. Who? Hot boy, I'm pushing back this morning. Who? Who? Tell me, who? So you're telling me, because again, Nate Newton made another great point. See, we're talking about man-to-man, and I understand why we're doing it. We're talking about man-to-man because of Deron Bland and Trevon Diggs, because those are the only two people I could think of we're talking about. So Nate Newton made this point, and this is why I say it's amazing that Nate Newton makes this point and nobody's talking about it. So let's say we put Deron Bland in man-to-man. So let's be in reality. Let's not be talking hypotheticals. Let's be in reality. So we got Deron Bland, Kyer Elam, Reddy, Triquez Bridges. So you're telling me also, because if you put the corners in man-to-man, that also means you're putting linebackers in man-to-man, you're putting safeties in man-to-man. So you're telling me that we believe that this entire defense, you're telling me that we believe that this entire linebacker and defensive end, you're telling me that this defensive end, that this linebacker, safety, and cornerback crew that we currently have right now, you're telling me that we actually believe that they're all man-to-man, all of them. You're telling me all of them. All of them are man-to-man, that we actually think that if we are going to put them in man-to-man, they're all going to be good. Not buying it. Not buying it. Doesn't make sense to me. Not buying it. I don't believe we're all man. I don't believe this team is geared up for man-to-man. I'm just telling us the cruel reality. This team needs a lot of changes. This defense, the offense is great. This defense needs changes, and this is the reality. We've realized it way too late. This defense has been under evaluation. I'm telling you what you're looking at. The defense has been under evaluation. That's exactly what they've been doing. Whether we like it or not, they've been evaluating players. And all those players they brought, for the most part, they're not good. Todd Church, you're exactly right. We don't take the offseason seriously, and we didn't take it serious. We didn't take the offseason serious. We wasted an entire offseason and did not implement the defense from the beginning. That's the reason why. Kyer Elam, why did he look so good in training camp, but he's looking like trash right now? We should have been implementing that defense in the training camp. But even then, you still can't teach physicality. You still can't teach physicality. You can't teach heart. You can't teach will. You can't do it. You can't teach all those things. And so the problem is with the Cowboys defense. I'm staying in reality. We missed. We missed all the way around. And some people are even saying we even missed on Oso Digizua. We missed. I don't think we missed on Oso Digizua. I don't think we missed on Kenny Clark. I just think teams have gotten smart. If you look at the film, they've gotten smart. Rather than doubling our edges, they used to double Michael Parsons. A lot of people act like these offensive lines are just killing the Cowboys one-on-one. No, go back and look at the film. They're doubling our defensive tackles. That's what they're doing. They're doubling our defensive tackles and then opening up lanes that are so wide that a semi-truck could roll through them. They're doubling the defensive tackles. I'm telling you, they're giving them hell down there in the trenches. They are killing them down there in the trenches, and that is the truth. The Cowboys, man, this isn't just. Is it a Matty Eberflus problem? Yes. But it's not just a Matty Eberflus problem. And I think this is where the Cowboys are stuck. The Cowboys know absolutely they are stuck. They're stuck. What do you do? What do you do in this situation? Because you can't cut the players. What do you do? You can't bring in, you're not going to be able to bring in on the trade deadline, you're not going to be able to bring in 5 or 6 players. I mean, you can, but they're only going to be the same thing that we're talking about. They're only going to be the same thing that we're talking about. They're going to be Band-Aids, 1-year rentals. They're going to be, if you get 5 or 6, they're going to be cheap. I'm just putting it in reality. The best thing we could hope for with this Cowboys defense is that this Cowboys defense could find a way, and let's just say they fire Matt Eberflus. They could find a way. Because I'm telling you now, if they don't do it at the bye week, they might as well roll with it. They might as well roll with it, because to bring in a defensive coordinator, trying to get him to get ready for the Raiders game, the week before the game, you can forget about it. That defense coordinator will not be ready. Will not be ready for the Raiders game. Will not be ready for the Eagles game. Will not be ready for the Kansas City Chiefs game. He's going to get ran over roughshod. The Cowboys are in a predicament. And I'm just giving you the cold hard facts. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like anything I'm telling you, and I actually don't care. You don't have to like it. But I'm telling you the truth, whether you love it, like it, or hate it. Somebody got to start telling more truth, because the hypotheticals ain't helping us. Telling me what the Cowboys could do, knowing that the Cowboys are probably not going to do it. I can't go in those places, because it just seems highly unlikely. And again, every day that goes by that the Cowboys don't let go of Matt Eberflus, it leans more towards there's no point in letting go of Matt Eberflus. There's no point. Because the only thing you do to the new defensive coordinator, you sabotage him too. Do we realize that's what we're going to do? We're going to sabotage him too. Because then when he doesn't win the next 3 games, when he doesn't win 4 games in a row, what are we going to be saying then? Oh, well, at least we changed out Matt Eberflus, but what's the point? You're still losing. I'm telling you, I don't think we're paying attention to some of the things that we're saying. I don't think we're paying attention to it. And I'm telling you, this is where the Cowboys are. You can love it, like it, or hate it, but this is where the Cowboys are. Again. So the Cowboys have the Arizona Cardinals coming up. Today is Tuesday. If you don't fire Matt Eberflus this week, are you going to fire him this week when you're playing the Arizona Cardinals? Are you going to do that? Because I got a strange feeling you're not going to fire him before the Arizona Cardinals game. So then you got a bye week. Are you going to... Because I'm telling you, the only space the Cowboys have to let go of Matt Eberflus is the bye week. That's it. And even if you promote somebody on staff, so what are they going to do? Are they going to implement an entirely new defense? Because I'll be honest with you, you do know that Matt Eberflus brought quite a bit of his staff from Chicago with him. So to me, if you're going to let go of Matt Eberflus, then you need to let go of his entire staff. Why let go of Matt Eberflus and keep his staff? He brought quite a bit of his staff. Why would you keep his staff? I'm telling us. So you're telling me that somebody's going to implement a defense. Whoever we're talking about is on the Cowboys staff. So you're telling me that they're going to implement a defense that is going to be so much better than Matt Eberflus, that defense is going to, with these current players, you're telling me this defense is going to, that coach is going to be able to come in. He's going to be able to beat the Raiders on a 1 week, just in 1 week of whatever he's doing. Let's say you fire him after the Arizona Cardinals game. So he's going to have 2 weeks to get ready for the Raiders. He's going to get ready for the Raiders. He's going to be able to be ready for the Eagles. Short week, beat the Chiefs. And then 10 days, then he's going to go to the Detroit Lions. Man, y'all, I don't even think we know what we're saying. Tell me how it's going to be a different result. You telling me this coach is going to be so good that he's going to come in and some kind of way defensively, he's going to stop the Raiders? Maybe. The Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Lions. Man, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. And that's why I'm telling you. We can deal in hypotheticals all we want to. I'm just giving you the cold hard facts. I'm just giving you the facts. You don't have to like it. The Cowboys are in a figure four. They got them in a headlock. They have put themselves in a headlock because they swung and they missed not only on the coach, or at least that's what I'm going to have to assume. They also swung and missed on the players, not only this season, but previous seasons too. The only fix for this defense is to blow it up. And you can't blow it up until the offseason comes. You can't. You can't do it. Ty Church said we only need two trade we only need two trade players. Okay, you're saying I think we only need 2 players. Let me read this. Nisi said this team hasn't taken the offseason seriously since the last Super Bowl win. Think about it. They started naming the camps. Remember that Hard Knocks episode where Phillips named it Camp Cupcake? Facts. Nisi, this is what's known as a systemic problem. This is a systemic problem. I think the Cowboys are trying to fix it, and they thought Matt Eberflus was fixing it. And I still say, yep, it's a Matt Eberflus problem, but how much? If you gave Matt Eberflus the players that he wanted, would he be better? Can anybody answer that question? Would he be better? Gene Moore said the story we were sold this offseason was to bring in cast-offs that Flus was going to fix because he was that guy. That's what we were sold. Gene Martz. I'm going to be the first one to tell you I was wrong on some of these things. This is why when I went back and did the research on this thing with Matt Eberflus, this is why I changed my direction on this. I said it. I said, man, this thing with Matt Eberflus, I'm concerned. When you start talking about bend, don't break, shoot, man, them defenses typically shatter if you don't got great players. Shoot, man said, bottom line, defense is trash. Offense disappears on the road. Bad offensive play calling. Facts. Players aren't good enough on defense. Lots of replacements needed. Yep. Dominic Pittman, let me tell you where I'm struggling on this whole thing right here. Because I'm telling you, I'm struggling on this part. How does Flus get to refuse? Because Brian Schottenheimer said there's going to be changes. He said that against the Commanders, where there were changes, but they were playing without their first, second, and third receiver. We reverted right back to a pumpkin this week. I'm telling this, man, we are in the proverbial rock and a hard place. I'm just telling you. This is why I'm telling you, Michael Irvin is in this same boat. The offense just needs to understand the assignment. You want fair? Go to the fair and get you some cotton candy. Get your funnel cake. Maybe to make you feel better. I'm just telling you the truth. This team's hope is to score 40 plus points a game. Somebody says you can't live like that. You can't live in that world. Well, it's the world you live in. I think once you can accept the world you live in, you can enjoy it a lot more. I'm just telling you. You can enjoy it a lot more. You can enjoy it. Because I'm telling you now, if you think you mad, shoot, man, you ever heard that song, if you think you lonely now, wait until tonight? Shoot, you think you mad now? Keep watching the Cowboys. Because we're going to beat, I'm telling you, I'm going to be shocked if we don't beat the Arizona Cardinals. Brian Schottenheimer calls games totally different at home. I've already shown you this. The Cowboys are averaging 40 plus points per game at home. I don't think in no universe the Arizona Cardinals can put up 40 points. I don't care how bad the Cowboys defense is. I don't care how bad the Cowboys defense is. If they put up 40 plus points on the Arizona Cardinals, they're beating them. And when the Cowboys beat the Arizona Cardinals, because the one thing that winning does, winning is like a drug. Winning cures things. Winning will make us overlook some of the bad part of this defense. It'll make us overlook. And especially if Jacoby Brissett plays. You mess around, the Cowboys get an interception here, turnover there. Get a couple of stops because the Arizona Cardinals are nowhere near, at least I say they're not nowhere near the play callers of Sean Payton. But people got to understand something. Sean Payton is a master play caller. He's a master play caller. Maybe the Arizona Cardinals won't look as good against the Cowboys defense. Defense looks better. Cowboys go in there and do what they normally do, 40 points at home. What are we going to say then? Okay, you said the fix for this defense is to make Dennis Allen the defensive coordinator. He's great at that job. Confused Brady and Dak, should be lifetime defense coordinator. Okay. And again, I just don't think the Cowboys are going to do any of this stuff. Again, hey, defensive changes at the end of the season, I can see it. I just don't think they're going to do it during the season. We can hypothetical all we want to, but I don't. They're not going to do it during the season. Nisi said, what we are seeing is what happens when the owner GM wants yes men and not football, hard-nosed minds. Nisi, I said this yesterday. And when I think about Robert Saleh, and maybe the reason why Jerry didn't go get Robert Saleh might have been a little too hard for Jerry. Flores. I think Flores, let me tell you something about Flores. I do not like what Flores did to Tua Tagovailoa. But I'm going to tell you this. Flores is a great coach. Flores is a great coach. Flores, and the reason why Miami is losing now is because that coach isn't the coach that turned Miami around. Flores did. Flores turned Miami around. He is a very hard-nosed coach, and I think they would do great with him. But I don't think Jerry wants that kind of coach here. Jerry brought in Matt Eberflus. Now, if you let Brian Schottenheimer tell it, he was right along with it. I'm struggling with that part. I'm not sure if he was right along with it. I'm struggling with that part. But he puts up that facade, or he could be telling the truth. Maybe Brian wanted him. But Matt Eberflus, to me, he doesn't match Brian Schottenheimer's personality to me. Clayton Adams matches Brian Schottenheimer's personality. The intensity. He matches. Matt Eberflus, that seems like Jerry. That seems like Jerry. But I think Jerry made a mistake. And it's not like Jerry hasn't made mistakes in the past, because he's made a lot of mistakes. But he made a big mistake on Matt Eberflus. Because I just think Matt Eberflus, the reason why, if I'm the Cowboys, I wouldn't have hired Matt Eberflus, I wouldn't have hired Matt Eberflus just based on principle. You telling me the Chicago Bears fired this man mid-season? Ain't no way I'd have touched him. Ain't no way. I'm not hiring that coach. No, I'm not hiring him. Not for no doggone, not for no doggone defensive coach. Not for my defensive coordinator. That position is so pivotal. I'm not hiring him. I think the Cowboys swung and they missed. They swung and they missed. They swung and they missed. Dante Fowler. Maybe we should have, when we saw the fact that Washington didn't re-sign him, maybe we should have said no thank you. Hindsight is 2020. That's the problem with hindsight. It's 2020. That's the problem with it. It's 2020. Because we didn't think like this when the Cowboys got some of these players. I'm not saying we were out there cheering with pom-poms about these players. But none of us thought about some of these players the way we do now. And for whatever reason, Sanborn looked great in Chicago. And I don't know about great, but he looked good. Because I'm telling you, the local beat writers in Chicago were going bonkers over Jack Sanborn. They were going bonkers over him, I'm telling you. Now, Murray Jr., from what my understanding is, Murray Jr. he was the same, he's been the same where he was before. So, again, I'm just telling y'all, the Cowboys, they're not going to tank the season. They're not going to tank the season. They're going to try to win. They're just going to try to win with offense. All right, I'm going to let y'all, we're going to listen to Dak Prescott. I'm sorry, guys. We've been going on and on about this on the Cowboys' identity. But at the end of the day, I'm just telling you who the Cowboys are. The Cowboys are Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Now, as it pertains to Matt Eberflus and his defense, it's not Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Matt Eberflus, his defense, it's just been what it's been. It's trash. It's the only way I can explain it. I don't know all the causes of it. I think it's a combination of so many things. It's trash. Dominic Pittman said, if Kyler Murray plays, I can see them losing. Yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to beat the Arizona Cardinals. Brian Schottenheimer calls games different at home, and I just don't think the Arizona Cardinals can score 40 points with Jacoby Brissett or Kyler Murray, and they don't have the defense that the Denver Broncos have. Cowboys going to go nuts on them. Bama Boy said, and we wonder why Eberflus was fired from Chicago. They saw the writing on the wall. Bama Boy, I did a whole thing on that. And one of the things that happened to Matt Eberflus is some of the same stuff that we're witnessing with the Cowboys. The players got tired of getting the blame for some of the stuff that was going on. They got tired of some of the things that, and this is why I say the Cowboys, and even Brian Schottenheimer's got to be careful. Always trying to, yes, the players do need to play better. But, man, you got to be so careful of how you place that blame and how you emphasize that blame. You got to put some of that blame where it belongs. Niecy said, I won't be shocked if we don't beat the Cardinals. Basically, on our past history versus Kyler. Niecy, let me tell you something. I'm going to be shocked. But Niecy, not only am I going to be shocked, I mean, if they beat the Cowboys, I'm telling us now, boy, if they beat the Cowboys, all hell gonna break loose. Niecy, all hell gonna break loose, and let me tell you why. If they beat the Cowboys, because the Cowboys let them score a bunch of points, and the offense scores 24, 27 points again, all hell gonna break loose. Now, if the Cowboys score 40-plus points like they normally do, and the defense gets a lot of points on them, and they lose again, all hell won't break loose because everybody be like, that is what it is. And then the Joneses will be forced with a decision on whether or not they're going to fire Matt Eberflus during the bye week. But I don't think they're going to fire him during the bye week because I think they're going to beat Arizona. Rick says, sorry, he's half running the defense. Too much to do and think about for one guy because he doesn't trust that Eberflus is going to do the right thing. Oh, okay, you're talking about, you might be talking about Brian Schottenheimer. David O. Wallace said, laugh out loud, G, you got me, I just got off work, you got me fired up. Yeah, True Texan, he said Sean Payton even made Quincy Carter look good and he was not. Yeah, we got to understand, man, Denver is actually a good team. Denver just kind of showed us where we were, especially on the road. Denver's a good team. They really are. They're a good team. But the part that is that's still kind of strange to me is how in the world did Brian Daboll, with a rookie running back and a rookie quarterback, score 32 points on him? Doesn't make sense to me. Dominique said, we've always got to understand that Jerry and Steven pay these coaches dog food money as far as how much coaches get paid in the league. Well, especially their head coach. Yeah, in particular, their head coach. They don't pay him as good as they should. But Brian Schottenheimer, let me tell you something. If Brian Schottenheimer stays on the trajectory that he's on, Brian Schottenheimer will be a coach somewhere else. Brian Schottenheimer will be a coach somewhere else. He will be. He'll be a coach somewhere else. Because Brian Schottenheimer, to me, in just 8 games, Brian Schottenheimer is the only thing holding this franchise together. He's holding it together. I think he has Jerry and Steven and those guys doing things different. And I think they missed. And I don't think they missed. I know they missed. They missed on Matt Eberflus. They missed on Matt Eberflus, and they missed on some of these players. They missed. Freddie said, I'm so sick and tired of Diggs moping around here in Dallas about the Micah trade and Mike in Green Bay talking about how the boys, yeah, we're going to talk about that, how he messed over Diggs. Man, those two straight out acting like lovers. Man, Fred, I'm going to tell you something. My wife said it, man. My wife said they act like they go together. Hey, it's weird. I'm telling you. Niecy, hey, you laughing? Niecy, my wife said it was weird to her. Yeah, she thought it was weird too. Hey, Michael said Jerry needs to stop trying to coach the team by proxy. Offenses have changed drastically in the league. Can't be hiring a defense coordinator solely based on past relationships. Yep. Michael H., I said it when I asked the question. And Jerry hired Matt Eberflus on continuity. Yep. Hired him on continuity. Shouldn't have hired him. He was fresh off of getting fired with the Chicago Bears. There is no way I would have fired Matt. There's no way I would have hired Matt Eberflus. Bert said, this is our future right now. Whatever happens now, we'll put this defense in a position to help our offense. Living this world of inconsistency is not something you wish on fans, but here we are. Bert, people aren't taking it the right way, but I'm telling them the truth. I'm just telling us who we are. There's no point in getting yourself all gassed up with what the Cowboys might and should do because they're not going to do it. Sam Winbush, we can't stop a Pee Wee League team. Niecy said if we are down at halftime, Jerry should fire Flus. Niecy? This is Jerry Jones. To me, just looking logically, this is his only opportunity to fire Matt Eberflus. It's his only opportunity. Because if he don't fire him after this game, you might as well let him ride it out. Because you're not going to bring in a coach who's going to get you ready for the gauntlet that you're about to run. There is no defensive coach that can come in 1 week, get you ready for the Raiders, face the Eagles, face the Chiefs, face the Lions. There is no coach that can get you ready for that gauntlet. So if you just want to fire him based on principle and say, if we're going to lose, we'll lose with somebody else. Okay. I get that. I get that too. It just don't seem likely. Because I'm telling y'all, I think the Cowboys are going to give Matt Eberflus an opportunity to coach with his own players. Bass said Clayton or White Cotton can't be worse than Flus. Well, my question becomes then, Bass, can they be better than Flus? I mean, if we're trying to win, they can't be worse, they can't be better. It's a strange situation, man. Now, I can tell you this. I'll just give you my thoughts on this from this perspective. I think from a morale standpoint, that may be one of the best reasons ever to move on from Matt Eberflus. Morale. Not his X's and O's. Morale. Because the offense, they're eventually going to get tired of it's just what it is. They just got to understand the assignment. It just is what it is. They're just going to have to put up points. But it's not like they don't have the players to put those points up. Yeah, Carlito, I can dig that too. Dart's tendencies are not studied like Dak. Not enough tape yet. Yeah, he ran on him a lot too. Yeah. Nisi said, didn't he fire Jimmy after winning the Super Bowl? Where's that, Jerry? He's somewhere in that entertainer's body. And, you know, and I think what they're saying is he just didn't renew the contract, Nisi, but I call it a firing. But they said he didn't get fired. He just didn't renew it. But yeah, Jerry was different back then. But I'm telling y'all, man, I think Jerry was already at this point. I think Jerry was already at this point, and this is why I told y'all this before. I think Jerry was already at this point. I think Jerry was already at the point of evaluating the defense. We know what the offense is. We got Matt Eberflus. We got him some players. We'll see what the defense is. The defense don't work out. We'll get all new players or get a lot of new players the following year. I just think he was already in this mode. I don't think it's new. I think he was already in this mode. This is why I kept saying that the Cowboys were not going to win a Super Bowl in 25. I said they would flash. They flashed. They're going to continue to flash. George Pickens is on this offense. Dak Prescott's incredible. CeeDee Lamb is CeeDee Lamb. He's incredible. I mean, they got a great offense. They got a Super Bowl level offense, period, in the story to me. But the defense is so far behind. Now, again, maybe we could experience a miracle. Because while we're saying at the trade deadline that we could get better at the trade deadline, well, maybe they get better at the trade deadline with Matt Eberflus. I think they're going to give him an opportunity. I know we don't like it, but I think they're going to do it. And let me let you hear Dak Prescott. I said this an hour ago. Let me let you hear Dak Prescott real quick.
If Surtain's replacement was on Pickens, did you consider maybe saying, hey, this is the new guy there, one-on-one?
Right, and
all the time, but how hard is it to be even keel when you kind of have the whiplash of win?
to GP, you know.
I want you to hear this question that Dak Prescott answered. I like this interview, but I want you to hear how Dak Prescott answered it. Because I think the answer is in the answer that Dak Prescott gave. Listen to this.
So, part of it.
And I know you guys want to be even keel, coaches talk about that all the time, but how hard is it to be even keel when you kind of have the whiplash of win-loss, kind of consistently?
Very tough, very tough. Yeah, very tough. Because, yeah, you want to put a streak together. And talking about identity, trying to find identity, right? Like, it's hard to even give you an identity until we put a couple of games together in a row. Right now, our identity is up and down, and that's not it.
That's it. That's their identity. There's the answer to the Cowboys. Dak Prescott summed up who the Dallas Cowboys are. The Dallas Cowboys are up and down. The Cowboys are Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You heard it straight from Dak Prescott. There it is. That's our identity. We can love it, like it, or hate it. That's our identity. We're gonna have to learn to live being Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde until something changes. People can be mad at me all they want to. I'm not going to be mad at them. They can be mad at me all they want to, but I'm just telling you the truth. The Cowboys are Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and that's it. Period in the story. And I don't think a new coach is going to change that. I don't think a new defensive coordinator is going to change us being Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, because the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is not the defense. No, the defense ain't hiding. They are terrible. They're not hiding. The offense is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, because on the road, the offense is putting up 24 points average. At home, they're putting up 40-plus points a game. This is why I think they're going to beat the Arizona Cardinals, because I don't think the Arizona Cardinals can score 40 points on the Cowboys. I don't think they can score 40 points on the Cowboys. We'll see. I just don't think they're going to be able to do it. I think the Cowboys defense may play even a little bit better at home. We'll see what happens. But this is their identity. Dak called it up and down. I call it Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
It's anything I'm proud of and not anything anybody in that locker room should be proud of on any side of the ball or the coaches. So, like, we need our identity right now is inconsistent, and that's unacceptable. And we've got to be better. We've got to find a way to.
There it is. Inconsistent. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And actually, the Cowboys are not inconsistent. They're not inconsistent. They're consistent. The Cowboys are consistently inconsistent. That's who they are. There's no arguing that. They're consistently inconsistent. And Dak Prescott is spelling it out.
Be consistent, whether it's at home, on the road, regardless.
Yep.
We're too good. We got too many good players. We got great coaches that, hell, Clowney was just saying in the locker room, right? Like, this roster should not be going up and down like we're doing it. And a guy like that, when he says it, he says it, and he says he's been on 7 teams, that hits. That's real. And so we've just got to look in the mirror. Like I said, like I challenged the guys, and what can we do more?
Dak said it. Let me tell you what I appreciate about Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott understands the assignment. Y'all do know Dak Prescott understands the assignment, don't you? Dak Prescott understands the assignment. Hey, Bass, you ready for this? Bass said Flus is not a great coach. Bass, you ready for this? I think he's talking about the offense. Because the defense has not been inconsistent. The defense has been consistently bad. Who's been inconsistent is the offense. They can't seem to score a bunch of points on the road. That's who's been inconsistent. And the reason why Dak is saying this is that Dak is accepting, I know the assignment. We got to carry the defense. They're not going to do their part. So we got to score points. Dak is understanding the assignment. We're going to come back and listen to some more Dak Prescott in a moment. Dak understands the assignment. I'm just telling you. Dak is in reality too. I know some people don't like reality. They like all the coulda, woulda, shoulda. I can't deal in the coulda, woulda, shoulda as much. I can get there sometimes, but in this situation, I can't get there. I can't get there because what I'm looking at doesn't resemble any of the hypotheticals that we're talking about. I think the Cowboys, until they show me something different, I'm going to tell y'all the reality of where I can see the Cowboys are. The reality of the Cowboys is this. They're looking at Matt Eberflus and they're saying we like the system. They're looking at some of the players and they're saying some of the players are the problem. and the lack of some of the players that we don't have are the problem. And then when Overshown gets back, Savon Revel Jr. gets back, when Josh Butler gets back, the Cowboys are going to be even in more evaluation mode. And they're going to say, let's see what Matt Eberflus looks like with those players back. And then next week at the trade deadline, I will not be surprised. I will not be surprised if the Cowboys overpay or give up the farm for a Max Crosby or a Trey Hendrickson. I will not be surprised. I'm not saying they're going to do it, but I'm not going to be surprised because I think that's who I think Max Crosby is who they're swinging for. I think Max Crosby is who the Cowboys are swinging for. And depending upon what happens with the Raiders, depending upon what happens to us with the Arizona Cardinals, I think they're going to swing in that bye week. They're going to swing for Max Crosby. And if they don't swing for Max Crosby, they're going to get other players. They're going to bring somebody in. I'm not sure who, but they're going to bring somebody in. And they're going to put whoever that player is, they're going to put that player they're going to say, okay, we got this player, Overshown, Savon Revel Jr., and Butler back. Let's see what he looks like. I'm just telling y'all, the Cowboys are going to give Matt Eberflus, whether you hate me or not, because I know there's some people that hate me right now. They're going to give Matt Eberflus every chance to succeed. Love it, like it, or hate it. They're going to give him every opportunity to succeed because the Cowboys have already admitted that they've made a mistake of bringing in 3 defensive coordinators or having 3 defensive coordinators in 3 years. They don't want to bring in the 4th. They don't want to bring in the 4th. I'm telling you what they told us. They don't want to bring in the 4th. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, William Harris. The deadline, that's because that's the bye week for the Cowboys. Because we played this week, and I think, we played this week. We play November the 3rd. We don't play again to November the 17th. So the bye week we'll be in the bye week. We play Monday night. So then we'll be in the bye week. Because I guess they're counting that as the bye week because the Cowboys will be off the whole week. They won't play Sunday. Cowboys will be in the bye week in a sense. And so the Cowboys will get whoever they're going to get because I'm telling you they're going to get a player. And I think they're swinging for Max Crosby. The Cowboys, I'm telling you, they're going to give Matt Eberflus a chance to succeed. Bottom line. Sub-Zero, appreciate that super chat. He said, I would feel 10 to 20 times better if our defense would at least bring some heart. No more talk, let's play. Remember, we're still in second place. Dak Prescott said this very thing. We're going to listen to Dak Prescott's message after we listen to Stephen Jones. But let me go back up here. Let me go back up here real quick. Also, let me see. True Texan, appreciate that super chat. True Texan, you're exactly right. Reality is not for the weak-minded. Mine sucks at times. Yeah, True Texan. This is the part people don't like. People don't like, man, people struggle with the truth. Let me tell you, I've learned about people. The Bible teaches something about people. People love a lie. People love a lie. They do. They love a lie. They love for you to lie to them. They will pay you to lie to them. I'm just going to tell you the truth. And the Cowboys, they are going to give Matt Eberflus every opportunity to succeed. They are. Yeah, Baz said they want someone clearly because they keep getting told no. Yeah. Baz. They want Max Crosby. I think they want Max Crosby more than they want Trey Hendrickson. And I'm telling you, Baz, I don't think they've been told no. I don't think they've been told no. I don't. I think they've been told, let me tell you what it's going to take. I said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again. The Cowboys were undercompensated for Micah Parsons. The Raiders and the Bengals are saying we will not be undercompensated for Hendrickson or Max Crosby. Because if you're going to come knocking on that door, you better be knocking on that door with 2 first-round draft picks and maybe even a player or 2. They're not going to do what we did. They're not going to do what we did. Max Crosby is a cornerstone player. He is. William Harris said they're going to get Crosby or Jalen Phillips or Minkah Fitzpatrick from the Dolphins. We're going to see. But I do think they're going to get somebody. Big Mouse Dog, happy birthday early. We'll tell you again on your birthday. Angie said Revel has a transformer leg, but I want to see him live up to the hype. Angie, I'm gonna tell you, we better temper our expectations on Savon Revel Jr. And Angie, I'm excited for Savon Revel Jr. But I'm also gonna temper my expectations. Because this is the system that we say stinks. If the system stinks, then Savon Revel Jr. can't look good in it either. But if Savon Revel Jr. comes in this system and looks good, boy, we got questions now. We got questions. What if DeMarion Overshown comes in this system and looks good? What if Savon Revel Jr., Josh Butler, and DeMarion Overshown comes back and look good in the system? Boy, we're going to have problems. Now, Dallas sports, let me tell y'all something. Let me show y'all something. I don't think, let me preface this so I don't say it in an offensive way. When y'all say the Cowboys are cheap, maybe we're saying it the wrong way. Because in actuality, the Cowboys aren't cheap. The reality is the Cowboys don't spend the money the right way. That's probably that's really the problem. Let me show you something I looked up. Let me show you something I looked up that's fascinating. I'm going to show you 3 different teams. And this is about to blow y'all's mind. So I only did this on 3 teams. Because I was really interested in 3 teams. Okay.
Yes! Here we go!
Are the Dallas Cowboys cheap? Are the Cowboys cheap? Y'all ready for this? Are the Cowboys cheap? So, one of the better defenses in the league right now. One of the better defenses in the league. We just faced that defense. We just faced one of the better defenses in the league. And that defense is the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos spent, the Denver Broncos have dedicated $111 million, $198,617 in total salary cap to the defensive side of the ball. This is slightly less than the amount committed to the offense. The offense, they've committed 117. Let's just round it up. They've committed $118 million to their offense, $111 million to their defense. Anybody want to take a wild guess at how much the Cowboys got dedicated to defense? Papa Suge, you said they cheap. Okay. I'm about to show you something. You said the Cowboys are cheap? What do you call cheap? I asked this question the other day. What do you call cheap? The Denver Broncos have $111 million dedicated to the defensive side of the ball. $111 million. How much do you think the Cowboys have dedicated to the defensive side of the ball? The Dallas Cowboys have $99 million dedicated to the defensive side of the ball. So we really think that $11 million makes that big of a difference? Roughly around $10 to $11 million? The Denver Broncos have $11 million more dedicated to the defense than the Cowboys. So you're telling me that $11 million makes that big of a difference? I'm struggling with that. I don't think we're looking at an $11 million difference. Because if the Cowboys are cheap, then the Denver Broncos are cheap too. I just don't call if you spend $100 for a pair of shoes and I spend $110 for a pair of shoes. How am I cheap? How are you cheap? Or I'm cheap if I spent $10 more than you. $99 million versus $111 million. The Denver Broncos are not $11 million better than us. They're not. The Denver Broncos are just better than us because those players are playing different. The scheme is better for sure. And I'm sure the scheme has a lot of things to do with the way that they're playing. They like the scheme, but I think the players are better. I think they got better players than the Cowboys. But that's not the one I wanted to show you. That's just the warm-up. That's just the warm-up I want to show you. So when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, because I always laugh that people always say the Cowboys ought to do it like Howie Roseman. Because Howie Roseman always seems to do this. Howie Roseman always seems to do that. They're always looking. They're always this. And don't get me wrong, because I still say Howie Roseman could win GM of the year every single year. But I'm going to show you how the reason why they can really, why you could really call them the GM of the year. Now, this is based on 2024. I'm not sure what they are in 2025. But in 2024, did the Philadelphia Eagles win the Super Bowl last time I checked? I could be wrong. Was it 2023? They won the Super Bowl last year, right? We're cheap. You ready? Let me read this comment real quick. Angie said, expecting the offense to score 40 points every game is not reality if the defense allows the most points in the NFL. That's the reality. You don't have to like it. Angie, that's the reality. And the proof is in what we've done so far. Tell me the games we won, Angie. We've won how many games? We've won 3 games and tied 1. How many points did we score in 2 of the games and 1 of the games we tied? 40 points. In one of the games, we scored 40 points. If I'm not mistaken, the Giants scored what? 37 points. In the game that we tied with the Green Bay Packers, how many points we score? 40 points. How many points the Green Bay Packers score? 40 points. We scored 44 points against the Commanders. I think they were only able to muster what? 22 points? Until the Cowboys prove something different? That is reality. Reality is what's real and what's happening right now. That's reality. On the road. Who did they beat on the road? The New York Jets. They're terrible. How many points did the Cowboys score? 37 points on the road. That's reality. Dak Prescott has accepted that reality. Michael Irvin has accepted that reality. And I bet you Brian Schottenheimer has accepted that reality too. Until something else changes, that's their reality. And that's exactly what Dak Prescott just said. He said, we are up and down. That's our reality. We are a great home team and we're a mediocre road team. That's our reality. I'm not telling you it's right. I'm telling you that's our reality because that's what we've shown so far. Until we show us something different, then we'll see. Papa Suge said, Cowboys spent $100 in some food stamps on defense. Okay, Papa Suge, I've already showed you one number. Tell me again. Tell me again. I'm going to give you another one. I'm going to give you another one. So the Cowboys spent $99 million. The Denver Broncos spent $111 million. The Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2024. And I'm just showing y'all this because I think we're mistaken on this because this ain't about money. I'm not saying that you don't need to spend money because you need to spend money to make money. But you ready for this? Let me drop this megaton bomb on you. Read it and weep. Read it and weep. This is why Howie Roseman needs to be the GM of the year. We talking about the Cowboys are cheap. Howie Roseman won the Super Bowl spending approximately $75.87 million on his defense. You still want to talk to me about money? You still want to tell me it's a money problem? You still want to tell me the Dallas Cowboys cheap? I got news for you. News flash. The Cowboys are not bad just because they're cheap on defense. They're not bad because they're cheap on defense. They're not. They're not. That's not the reason. Papa Suge. Well, if we're cheap, tell me what the Philadelphia Eagles are. Tell me what the Philadelphia Eagles are. Angie, this is where me and you gonna definitely agree. It's gonna be hard to win like that. I agree. Angie, it's gonna be hard to win like that. But that's our reality. That's our reality until our reality changes. That's how we're gonna have to win, my sister. I'm accepting that reality. I'm accepting it. I'm accepting it. That it is what it is. Sometimes you just got to accept things for what they are until they get better. You got a bad job. You got a job you don't like. I was dealing with a sister just a couple of weeks ago at church. She had a bad job. Job terrible, treating her wrong, everything else. Angie, I told her don't quit. I told her you keep on working, you endure until something else opens up. Because to quit makes it worse. You have to live in your reality. You stay on that job until God does something different. You apply for other jobs, you talk to people, but whatever you do, you don't put yourself in the worst position. There is no point in crying about your reality when it's your reality. When you accept it, you perform better. And then when your reality changes, then that's your new reality. Angie, this is what we can hope. That the Cowboys get a player at the deadline or get a couple of players at the deadline. Overshown comes back. Josh Butler comes back. Savon Revel Jr. comes back. And all of this stuff starts to gel. And they get better. Not top 10, not top 15. Angie, maybe they can get between 20 and 25. If they can get between 20 and 25, I believe this team can beat anybody. But right now, it's our reality. And Angie, while it'll be hard to win like that, here's our hope again. Angie, let's just beat Arizona. Let's just beat Arizona. Let's see what happens at the trade deadline. I do believe the Cowboys are going to bring in player or players. Let's see what those player or players look like. Let's see what Overshown looks like. I'm going to temper my expectations on Overshown because I think the Cowboys are going to have to work him in slow. I think they'll work him in slow with the Raiders. Maybe ramp him up some against. Maybe they'll ramp him up some against the. Maybe they'll ramp him up some against the Philadelphia Eagles, and then he'll be good to go against the Kansas City Chiefs. But that's our hope right now. But this is our reality. That's our hope, but this is our reality right now. Angie, it's gonna be hard. I agree with you. But let's just hope and pray on this. Let's hope it don't remain our reality. Let's hope it don't remain our reality. And again, let's keep going. Lock and D, he said we don't have an aggressive front office like the Eagles. We have a like our guys front office. Lock and D. Well, I'll agree with you on some of that. I can't agree totally with you, but I'll agree with you on some of that. But think about this. The Eagles spent $75.87 million last year. That's it. That's all they spent. And I'm saying this because that leads me to believe that it's not a money problem. It's not a money problem. It's a personnel problem. It's a personnel problem. Now, I can already tell you when we think about the Dallas Cowboys and the money that we spent. I don't know what many of you were thinking during the Oso Digizua. I'm going to call it the Oso Digizua saga. I don't know where y'all were on the Oso Digizua saga. But where were some of you on the Oso Digizua saga? Were some of y'all the ones who were mad if the Cowboys didn't sign Oso Digizua? Because I can tell you, when you think about the Cowboys' money issues, some of that money, I guarantee you, went to Oso Digizua. Some of that money went to Oso Digizua. Some of that money has now went to Deron Bland. And then when you think about some of the other players on the team, oh, don't let me forget, the Dallas Cowboy favorite. Some of that money went to Trayvon Diggs. The Cowboys got some players that are being paid, man. They do. It says right here, when you look at the Cowboys rank highly in spending here. Those specific figures vary in reports from early in 2025 season. Key players, Dante Fowler. I showed y'all what Fowler was making. Clowney was only making about $3.5 million. Fowler, you gave him about $6 million. The cornerbacks, Trayvon Diggs is getting paid, man. This dude has only played 19 games. Trayvon Diggs has played 19 games. You're talking about in a possible 2.5 seasons. I mean, that is banana bonkers when you think about it. This dude is taking up a significant part of your cap. And I'm not blaming him. I mean, he got injured. It is what it is. But you're paying him a significant portion of your cap. And you telling me in a possible 42 games, and really 43 with the playoff game, Trayvon Diggs has only played, 19 games? You want to talk about a mismanagement of cap space? There's nothing you can do about that injury, but there it is. The Cowboys paid Trayvon Diggs, and everybody likes Trayvon Diggs. People would have killed the Cowboys if they let go of Trayvon Diggs. he did sign a team-friendly deal, but don't make it seem like he signed like Dollar Tree money. We just signed Deron Bland. Defensive line. Who was on the bandwagon with Oso Digizua getting paid? Who was on the bandwagon? Oso Digizua got paid. He signed a team-friendly deal, but let's stop acting like he got paid in the bottom half of the doggone league. He got a deal. They acquired Kenny Clark. He got a deal. Kenneth Murray. I showed y'all Kenneth Murray's deal. Kenneth Murray got a pretty good deal, especially to me, for who he is. Y'all do know our safeties, they're not cheap. Our safeties are not cheap. This is the very reason why when you look at $99.12 million, it's who we're paying this to. And could you imagine had we decided to pay Michael Parsons $47 million a year? So when you start looking at this stuff, the Cowboys aren't cheap. Because if you call them cheap, you're going to have to come back and explain to me what the Philadelphia Eagles are. You got to explain to me what the Philadelphia Eagles are. How did they win the Super Bowl on $75.87 million? How did they do it? Papa Shug, I'm asking you. I'm going to let you catch up. Papa Shug, tell me. If the Cowboys are cheap, what are the Eagles? What are the Philadelphia Eagles? You telling me the Denver Broncos? You telling me the Denver Broncos are $10 million? You telling me that the Cowboys spending $99.12 and the Denver Broncos spending $111 million? You telling me that $10 million is the difference? Come on now, you can't tell me the Cowboys are cheap. I mean, you can tell me, but the evidence is not proving it. Cowboys don't have a cheap problem. They don't have a cheap problem. And I'm showing you the facts. You don't have to agree with it. I mean, you want me to show you, I'm showing you. They're not cheap as you think they are. Cowboys aren't doing things as far as spending money. They're not doing anything any different than other teams do. Bringing in, you sign some players, you bring some in on 1-year rentals. Everybody does it. Everybody does it. I'm just telling y'all the Cowboys aren't cheap as you think. They're not cheap as you think. Now, Shug. There you go. There you go, Shug. Now you in the right area. So the organization is cheap, or they overspend on below average players on defense. Now we're getting to the crux of the matter. Now, you ready for this? Let's step back into this arena. Let's step back into this arena now. I'm going to step back in this arena. So who would have killed the Cowboys had they not extended Trayvon Diggs? Who would have killed him? See, Trayvon Diggs is the part that people don't like to talk about. The Cowboys paid Trayvon Diggs. He's only played in what? 19 games in 3 years? And he's ate up a huge part of that cap. What do you do about it? What do you do about it? Is that bad spending? Trayvon Diggs, when the Cowboys signed him, Trayvon Diggs was a top 5 cornerback. Might have been top 3. Should they not have signed him? Cowboys would have been crazy not to sign Trayvon Diggs. Did the Cowboys know Trayvon Diggs after they signed him immediately was going to pop a knee? No, they didn't know. Did they know when he came back the following year? The other knee was going to go bad? No, they didn't know. But guess what they've already done? They've already paid him. As Curtis Blow said, and some of y'all don't know who Curtis Blow is, but Curtis Blow said, and those are the breaks. Those are the breaks. I can remember like yesterday, people were crying over Oso Digizua. Crying over Oso Digizua. Cowboys are cheap. They should pay Oso Digizua. They're not going to pay. How's he playing now? Dallas Sports, I'm asking you. Okay, you said Papa speaking facts. Well, I'm showing you the facts. And I'm showing us that our perception and understanding of cheap is not right. No, we're not cheap. We're not cheap. What it's called is a mismanagement of money. That's what it's called. We're not cheap. And the Eagles aren't spending as much money as people think. But the Eagles do a better job, and we're not even going to sugarcoat it. They do a better job with their personnel in how they pay their personnel, when they pay their personnel, who they pay. They do a better job of that. But let's stop acting like the Philadelphia Eagles is out there throwing money everywhere, spending money like it's going out of style. No, they won the Super Bowl with a $75 million defense. And the people who say we love our guys are the same people that if you don't pay some of these guys, they'll lose their minds. No, we got a personnel issue. That's what we have, a personnel issue. And Nisi said something earlier. Some of this is the coaches. And one of the things I'm looking at on this defense, they missed on Matt Eberflus. It's the bottom line. Mills said, I live in Philly, and that defense for them in 23 was similar to us this season. Every game, open receivers, bunch of blown coverages, then got to the point they couldn't stop the run, similar to us. And see, Mills, it's not what we do. It's not so much what we do now. It's what we're going to do in the offseason. And that's going to determine what we're going to do next year. Angie the Rebel Chicks, this is one place. This is one place, Angie, that if there has ever been a time I've been confident in Jerry Jones, Angie, they're going to pay George Pickens. They're going to pay George Pickens. Jerry loves offense. He loves what George Pickens brings. Jerry is going to pay George Pickens. Angie, Jerry might pay George Pickens out of spite. Jerry might pay George Pickens out of spite. Just so he can say, y'all say y'all mad I didn't sign Michael Parsons. Look at what I did. I signed George Pickens. I said this yesterday, Angie. Some people don't agree with me. I'm sticking with where I am, though. This is why I am on George Pickens. I'm just telling you where I am with George Pickens because I just think it makes sense. Because I'm telling y'all now, if the Cowboys get in a bidding war, if the Cowboys find themselves in a bidding war with the way George Pickens is playing right now, not right now, right now, if the Cowboys find themselves in a war, they're losing. They're losing. And I'm telling this right now, they're losing. DFW, he says Cowboys will trade for a safety and a defensive end. You know, they may have to do something at safety. Wanye Thomas is dealing with some serious things with migraines. True Texan said, misappropriation of funds, their judgment sucks. That's it. See, True Texan, that's what we should be saying. The Cowboys actually are not cheap. It's how they allocate the money. That's the Cowboys' problem. It's how they allocate the money. Brandy said, Osa, where is the talent? Got paid and poof, gone. Brandy, I can remember this Oso Digizua discussion. People were losing their mind about Oso Digizua. Ooh, the Cowboys gonna let him walk. Angie, there it is. The Cowboys aren't cheap, Angie. It's how they appropriate the funds. If I'm not mistaken, still paying for Michael Gallup. I think we were still paying for Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, y'all know when Zeke came back, we were still paying Zeke from the previous contract. Cowboys extend players. They don't work out. Uh-oh, I got a news for you. Newsflash. There's another player that we signed that hasn't worked out at this point. His name, no hate. I'm just telling you the truth, and it's no fault of his own. His name is Trevon Diggs. That ain't Trevon Diggs slander. That's not Trevon Diggs hate. Trevon Diggs can't control getting hurt. Nobody controls getting hurt. The Cowboys didn't know he was going to get hurt when they signed him. They signed Trevon Diggs, and they didn't. He played 2 games the first season, 11 games the second season. Now he's played, 6, 7 games in this season, and now it looks like he won't play another down for him. And guess what? He's still getting paid. Curtis Blow said it best. Those are the breaks. The Trevon Diggs issue, those are the breaks. Nobody can foresee if somebody's going to get hurt or not. Not Trevon Diggs' fault, not the Cowboys' fault in the grand scheme of things. That's just how it happens sometimes. Darren Posey said Eagles prorate money in the bonuses. They do that a lot too. But Posey, Cowboys have done that too. Cowboys have done that too. They've done that. Other teams do it. I'm just telling you, Howie Roseman, they got a way of who they pay, when they pay, how they pay. They just are great at it. True Texan said, here's my take. Spend $40 on pizza or KFC or buy some milk, eggs, bread, cornmeal, pinto beans, taters, which, yes, sir, I see where you're going, which will feed you for days instead of one meal. Yeah. And Jerry has always been guilty of this. This is one of the biggest mistakes that Jerry makes. Jerry will pay some of his players at the top of the market, but then he'll sign the stars, but then the players that he needs in between, the Joes that you need the Joes on a team too. You need the stars, but you need the Joes. Guys who fit in with those players, who they can elevate the level of those players, and those players can play well too. It's not the spending. It's not the Cowboys aren't cheap. It's where they spend the money. That's the problem with the Cowboys. And Angie, I'm telling you where we are. Right, I'm just telling you where I am right now with George Pickens, and I'm sure many people aren't going to agree. But I'm just telling you where I am with this. I think I'm just telling you what I think the Cowboys should do, because it just makes sense. These are the top 3 wide receivers in football: Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. DK Metcalf is at number 4. Garrett Wilson is at number 5. I'm going to tell you where I am. George Pickens is better than Garrett Wilson. All day long. All day long. Terry McLaurin, I mean, look at these pays. Look at these pays. A.J. Brown, look at this. Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown. I'm going to just go in the top 10. Tyreek Hill, and let's include T. Higgins. Pickens is better than Higgins. Pickens is better than Tyreek Hill. Pickens is better than Brandon Ayuk. Pickens is better than Amon-Ra St. Brown. Pickens is better than A.J. Brown. Pickens is better than Terry McLaurin. Pickens is better than Garrett Wilson. Pickens, I'm taking him over DK Metcalf. All you got left above him is CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase. I'm going to put George Pickens. If I'm not going to give George Pickens 41, you better believe I'm going to give him 36. I would approach, if I'm the Cowboys in season, I'll see where we are maybe around December. If I'm the Cowboys, I'll see where we are around December. If I were the Cowboys, I would approach George Pickens in December, $37.5 million. I'll put you right in between Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. I'll put you at $37.5 million. And then I'll come back with CeeDee Lamb. And then I'll extend CeeDee Lamb and maybe give him another couple of million. Give him 37, get him up to $38, $39 million. But I'm telling you now, if the Cowboys don't get here, they might as well just say forget about it. They might as well just say forget about it on George Pickens. Because he's playing better than all these players right now, with the exception of CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase. So you got to be in this range. You got to give him 30. At the very minimum, you got to give him 34. You can't give him 33. He's better than DK Metcalf. At the minimum, you got to give him 34. You're going to have to be between 34 and 40. And that's exactly what I would offer him. I would offer George Pickens that right now or in December. There's no point in waiting till after the season. I wouldn't do it. You mess around, Angie said there's no guarantee. You mess around and take this thing into a bidding war, you're going to lose him. Now, I keep hearing that they can franchise tag him. Somebody said, though, he doesn't have to accept the tag. I'm not sure how all this goes. But I'm just telling us. Chanel, what's going on? He said, gee, it has nothing to do with money spent. It's how you relegated those dollars. See, that's what we should be saying. Cowboys aren't cheap with these players. They have paid the players, other than Michael Parsons. The Cowboys have paid the players we've wanted the Cowboys to pay. Not to mention, I forgot about Kevontae Turpin. The Cowboys extended Kevontae Turpin. The Cowboys extended Jake Ferguson this year. I mean, when you look at these dollars, the Cowboys aren't cheap. They're spending the money. A lot of people probably have forgotten the Cowboys extended Marquise Bell. I'm not sure why they did that, and they don't start him. The Cowboys are not cheap. It's the way they're spending the money. That's the point the True Texan is making. It's the way they're spending the money. Chanel said, it's how you relegate those dollars as to players and making sure there is in place a quality defensive coordinator in Robert Saleh, how San Francisco won a Super Bowl. And Nisi made a comment earlier. Now, you want to know where the Cowboys are cheap? And this has irked me for a long time. Where the Cowboys are cheap and where it bothers me, the Cowboys are cheap on their coaches. That's what bothered me. They underpay their coaches. They'll pay players big time money and underpay their coaches. Can't stand when I just can't stand that. And that's why I said Robert Saleh, I believe, was the coach they should have got. But I don't think they want to pay him. I don't think they want to pay him the money. Yep. Brandon said Osa got paid. Not playing good. Nisi, yep. Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker, they're getting paid well. They're not playing good. I'm telling you, the Cowboys aren't cheap. They may be cheap with certain players. They're not cheap. No, they paying. You go look at some of these defenses. Cowboys spending $99 million. You could just throw out defenses. Now, the Green Bay Packers are probably paying some money right now because they got Michael Parsons. You can just do this on your own. Just go and Google this. The AI is so smart now. How much money is this team dedicating to the defensive side of the ball? Man, you can do this all day long. It'll blow your mind. You will walk away from this and you will clearly see. No, it ain't the Cowboys. It's not the fact that they're cheap. Now, it's not the fact that they're cheap, because there are other teams they're winning with cheaper, with playing less on defense. Papa Suge said, I was on the Osa signing, but he hasn't played good this season. Papa Suge. And you know the crazy thing is, Papa Suge, this stuff with Matt Eberflus isn't adding up to me. When I did the research on Matt Eberflus, one thing it talked about, one, he's the linebacker whisperer. The linebackers have looked the worst. The linebackers are the worst thing on the team. The linebacker play has been the worst on the team. They said he's the linebacker whisperer. I don't understand it. Something else they said, Papa Suge, that don't make sense to me. They said that Matt Eberflus's defenses are predicated upon the success of the 3-tech. Well, what happened with that? That means that Osa Odigizua should be dominating in this defense. He's not. That's why I say this is a combination of things. There's something. Yeah. Nisi said, wow, G, after that breakdown, Diggs equals Sean Lee with playtime after getting paid in injuries. Nisi, that's no hate on Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs, when he got that contract, you could make the argument he was a top 3 cornerback in the league. And he was. Diggs was balling. Diggs got that injury. He's never been the same. And I pray that Diggs gets back to being the same. But Diggs is not the same. And this may be a blessing in disguise for Trayvon Diggs. If I'm Trayvon Diggs, bro, your money guaranteed this year. Just like DeMarcus Lawrence's was. It is blatantly obvious that Matt Eberflus does not like Trayvon Diggs. Tell me I'm wrong. Matt Eberflus don't like Trayvon Diggs. And I think it's the Joneses that are just fed up with Trayvon Diggs more than anybody. The Joneses are mad at him about the first rehab. It's not even the second rehab. They're mad at him about the first rehab, and then they got madder at him about the second rehab. And that's why they took the $500,000 from him. Trayvon Diggs, sit down, bro. Let your knees get all the way right. Let your knees get all the way right. You already know Cowboys are probably not going to be able to trade you because there's no team that's going to pick up that salary. And a lot of teams are probably looking at Diggs and saying they're not sure about your health. Diggs, sit down. Let your knees get all the way right. And then you do exactly what DeMarcus Lawrence did. The Cowboys are going to make you a post-June 1st cut. The Cowboys are going to save about 13, 14, somewhere between 13, 17 million, plus all the other money back there on the back end of that contract that was never guaranteed in the first place. The Cowboys set the deal up like that. Trayvon Diggs should take this as a blessing. Go sit down and get yourself right. And when you come back next year, you come back with a vengeance. Come back with a vengeance. Sit down, man. Get on the shelf. But again, it's not the fact that the Cowboys are cheap. It's the way they spend the money. That's the difference. That's the difference. Big Robowski, welcome back. He said, but on Madden, I can trade Diggs for Max Crosby, but what happened to trade Micah? He said, how come Jerry can't do that too? Yes, sir. Yeah. Dominic Pittman, I'm just telling you, Cowboys aren't cheap. They're not cheap. I just showed you all the evidence. Cowboys are not cheap. No, they're spending the money. And even on some of these rentals, the Cowboys, I think they've overpaid. Would you not agree? The Cowboys overspent on Dante Fowler? Would you not agree? The Cowboys overspent on Murray Jr.? I mean, I'm telling you, man, I can go down the line on this stuff. The Cowboys aren't cheap. It's the players they're spending the money on. Some of it is misfortune. Trayvon Diggs is misfortune. That's all it is to it. Trayvon Diggs is not a horrible person. I don't know him personally. Trayvon Diggs is not a horrible person. I don't think Trayvon Diggs is a horrible person. I don't think Trayvon Diggs is a horrible person. I think if anything he could be guilty of is the way that him and Michael Parsons, this relationship they have, he let that get in the way of business. Do I believe he's sensitive? Yeah, he's sensitive. Man, this dude block anybody who say anything negative about him. I mean, when you in Bubba Dub's doggone DMs because he's saying crazy stuff about you, man, come on, bro. You sensitive. Bubba Dub done talked about so many people. I'm not saying he should be talking about people, but that's who Bubba Dub is. And when you know who somebody is, believe him. Man, you let Bubba Dub say what he want to say, man, you a millionaire. Go on about your business and keep focusing on your game. Bubba Dub ain't got no bearing on how people really feel about you in the grand scheme of things. But Trayvon Diggs, man, just sit down, chill. But again, that's just misfortune. I just say it for what it is. That's just misfortune. You signed a player that was great when you signed him. He got injured. Michael Gallup, now I don't even understand the Michael Gallup stuff. Cowboys signed Michael Gallup coming off an injury, and he wasn't even right. He wasn't even right. Cowboys paid Zeke way too much money, and they discovered it way too late. Chanel said only a handful of NFL defensive coordinators run a primary cover 2 scheme. A handful is 5 to 6 teams if you want to stretch that. He said that there are 32 teams in the NFL. Out of those 32, 5 to 6 DCs run cover 2. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I said this from the get-go. I had serious concerns about Matt Eberflus. It was the way that he was fired. It was the bend don't break defense. It was the fact that he came, I guess he's somewhere in there in the Rod Marinelli. He's in the Rod Marinelli tree. Shoot, but I don't care what anybody says. Man, people talk about Rod Marinelli. What Super Bowl has he won? Randy said, G, telling the truth. I'm just putting it out there. Tony Hubbard said we're spending 115. I got us at 99.2. This is where they have us now. And this may not be including some things that have transpired recently. But I'm just telling us Cowboys aren't cheap as we think. There are other teams out there spending less money and they're better. They're better. And so I think some of this is Eberflus. I'll agree with you wholeheartedly. Some of this is Eberflus. But those players also need to be careful what they're putting on tape. Because you can see some of the lack of effort out there too. And that's something that I wouldn't be putting on tape. I wouldn't be doing that. Big Ron Bowski, he said Eberflus outdated cover 2 zone schemes got results in any because at the time, the AFC South had very underwhelming offensive teams. Yeah, it's different in this NFC, man. Well, we got some showing up teams over here. Boy, we got some showing up, man. Hey, Broncos aren't a good offensive team, mock, because of all the money they let go of on Russell Wilson. They'll bounce back next year. They'll be able to get some players, I think, next season. Yeah, Hot Boy says it's a coaching situation with the Cowboys. I think that's the truth. The guy they hired got fired midseason last year, and they got better on defense. He is too soft for today's game. And again, y'all, Zimmer didn't want to come back because Zimmer wanted to be the head coach of the Cowboys. All right, let's move on here expeditiously. I'm getting a little bit further than I want to get because I'm coming back today at 4:30. Let's go a little while longer. Okay, so let's see. What do we want to go to? All right, let's go a couple more here. And I tell you what we're probably going to do. We're probably going to save Stephen Jones for this afternoon. Let's go over here to Dak Prescott. I want y'all to hear the rest of Dak Prescott's statement in case you hadn't watched my video. But Dak Prescott has really identified the Cowboys' identity. It's up and down. I'm calling it Dr. Jekyl and Mr. Hyde. That's who we are. And we are consistent because we're consistently inconsistent. We're going to come back to Stephen Jones today. Shotty's got to probably have another presser today, so we'll go to that other presser today. So we might not listen to yesterday's presser, but we will listen to Stephen Jones because I'm pretty sure he's going to have some things to say. Let's listen to Dak Prescott's message. want you to hear the next part of what he said. Check this out.
You guys are 3-4. You lose to Washington, you make a trade for Mari, and you jumpstart that season. Can a trade do something?
Now, it's hard to hear the question, but they're asking Dak Prescott, does he think a trade will jumpstart the Cowboys season? Because when they got Amari Cooper where they were, it jump-started the season. But we got to understand, Dak Prescott was on this team and playing well at that time. Excuse me. And so I think it's going to be a little bit different because, well, maybe the Cowboys think it'll be the same because DeMarion Overshawn coming back and it'll be better. But let's check out what he said. Does that not say it all? Y'all might not realize this, but Dak Prescott is in reality. Dak knows that it's going to take more than a player coming in or two players coming in to fix this defense. Listen what he says next.
I'd hope. Yeah, but then again, I trust and I like the guys that we have. I honestly do, and that's not just a political answer or whatever it is. Like, you see some of these games we've won, and honestly, even the tie and some of the games we've lost, like, our roster is okay. Can it be better? That's for you guys to write about and to judge. I trust those guys. We've got to be better in everything that we do. Getting a trade, right, takes opportunities and plays away from somebody else. And so I just echo to those people or to the guys in the locker room, right, like, forget a trade. Do more, right? Like shut that talk up, whether it be offense, whether it be defense, whatever position group that you guys are alluding to, step up and shut the talk up. Thank you, guys.
Standing ovation. Standing ovation for Dak Prescott. You know what Dak Prescott is telling us? Some of this is the players. Dak Prescott is telling us some of this is the players. They need to do better. Some of this is the players. Dak is saying, step up. Step up. Don't let people replace you because you're not playing well. Because the reality is, if the Cowboys bring in somebody, they're replacing somebody. Jalen Tolbert is not the number 2 because they brought in George Pickens. George Pickens took away snaps from Jalen Tolbert. Somebody else comes in here, they're taking snaps from another player. Dak Prescott is telling those players, step up. Step up. Do your doggone job. Some of this is players too. It is. Dallas Sports, he says, the one who drives to the bank and deposits money for great poppers or average players and not banking on great ones. See what you did there. Yeah, Mike, you're talking about Flus needs to be fired. Well, I can tell you this, if they're going to fire him, it better be, for every game that goes on, the less sense it makes. For every game they let him stay, it makes less sense. It does. Yeah, Dory Birmingham. Dory Birmingham, got you. Dory Birmingham. What it's called is a whole issue can only be fixed if there's no Jerry Jones. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. We're gonna be with Jerry Jones for at least another 4 or 5, I believe. Big Rombowski, he said Pickens will be a fool to resign here. Another team will match any offer that Jerry gives, and they will be able to offer Pickens a legit wide receiver 1 slot for years to come. Tough. Big Rombowski. I'm going to tell you this, where I hope you're wrong, but I'm going to tell you this. George Pickens is playing like a, boy, it is an understatement to say George Pickens is playing like a 1. It's an understatement. George Pickens is just playing out of his mind. And I think we held him back in the last game. I think Schotty held him back with the play calling. There was nobody that could hold George Pickens on that field that day. CeeDee Lamb is coming back off injury. There is nobody on that field that could have held, especially with Patrick Surtain going out in the second quarter. There was nobody that could hold George Pickens. It's a travesty he didn't have 15. He didn't have 15 or more receptions. It should have been a career day. They had no answer for George Pickens except for Brian Schottenheimer. Yeah, Dallas Sports. Yeah, we have a personnel problem. Yep, we do. I think we've over-evaluated, under-evaluated, and then we've just had some bad luck. Trayvon Diggs, end of the day, bad luck. Bad luck. Bottom line, bad luck. Nobody knew Trayvon Diggs was going to get hurt. Yeah, Baz, it says, G, does your shirt say Mayo? Yeah, but it's one of those, somebody bought this for my birthday. It's one of those Christian shirts, though. Yeah, it's one of those Christian shirts. Yeah, it says Mayo Light Shine. Yeah, it's one of them Christian shirts. Yeah, Mayo Light Shine, our Jesus. Yeah, spread it around. Matthew 5:16. Yeah, it's one of those shirts. You get these shirts. Somebody bought it for me for my birthday, but you get these shirts over at if I'm not mistaken, because I bought some of these before, you get them over at Buc-ee's. If there's a Buc-ee's near you, boy, if you don't have a Buc-ee's near you, boy, you are missing out on something. One of the greatest gas stations in the world. Birdwatch 1. I think this has been one of the Cowboys' biggest problems. I've said it before. Jerry's finds talent. But what Jerry is missing that Jimmy brought to the table, Jimmy could build teams. Man, I'm just telling y'all, people do not understand how incredible Jimmy Johnson was. Jimmy could get stars, but he could also get you the Joes. Shoot. Man, the Cowboys had a safety at once upon a time. I think he was a safety. Shoot. Man, this dude named James Washington. This dude was an absolute beast. People don't even talk about this dude. He was an absolute monster. Absolute monster. Boy, you didn't even want to be in his vicinity. Smack the number off your jersey. Yeah, the Big Rombowski. Al Harris was a blow. Al Harris was a blow, y'all. Straight up and down. Al Harris was a blow. He said that's why Al Harris bolted. Not only was he not considered for the DC opening, but then left to Chicago. And he's one of the reasons why Chicago was doing so well in turnovers, because they were willing to pay him, with Jerry and Steven not willing to match, so he said bye. Yeah, this is where they're cheap, is their coaches. Cowboys they be on some other stuff with their coaches. They really do. They be on some other stuff with their coaches, man. Yeah, Joey Birmingham, we have a top 10 offense, but a bottom 34 defense. Defense wins championships. Exactly. So there's always next year and the year after and the year after. Well, I tell you this, Dory, it better not be. This window with Dak Prescott is closing. The Dak Prescott window is closing. I'm not sure if Dak Prescott is going to be one of those 40-year-old quarterbacks. I think he can do it. I just don't know if he's going to do it. I just don't know if Dak's going to do that. This window is closing. People watched Joe Milton III coming in garbage time, throwing a great pass to Jalen Tolbert. Y'all better stop letting that fool y'all. People better stop being fooled by Joe Milton. And I'm not saying anything bad about Joe Milton. But what I'm telling you is people don't realize how great Dak Prescott is. But they're going to see when Dak Prescott is gone. Yeah, you're going to see how great Dak Prescott really was. Camo said the Jag, he said Osa is a Jag. He's just a guy. Nisi said, what linebackers he whispering to? Nisi, he ain't even writing them letters. He ain't even giving sign language to these doggone linebackers. When they said this dude was a linebacker whisperer, man, I thought that was the reason why I thought Jack Sanborn was going to go off the chain. Shoot. Boy, Jack Sanborn has looked so terrible with Matt Eberflus. Jack Sanborn looked better with Matt Eberflus in Chicago. What is going on? It's got to be. I'm telling y'all, it's a combination of things. Sanborn didn't look this bad in Chicago. Those people were raving about Jack Sanborn in Chicago. Uh-oh. Yeah, Mills 36. Yes, sir. You told us the other day, Revel is a zone corner. You said Revel Jr. is zone corner. That was Eberflus pick in the draft. Yeah. Yeah, they're giving these coaches some say-so in these picks. Jakira, this is the statement of the day. I would like to know, how does the teams we play see where we are lacking, but we don't see where they are lacking? Man in the mirror. Jakira, Michael Irvin alluded to this. Michael Irvin said that Sean Payton is a very detailed coach, and that Sean Payton attacked us in our weakness. And y'all already know why I went on this. I told you, man, I'm telling you. Sean Payton had a locator. He had the location turned on Triquez Bridges' phone. Shoot, he had one of them Apple trackers on Triquez Bridges, because everywhere Triquez Bridges was, that's where Sean Payton was throwing the ball pretty much. The rest of the defensive backs, they could just take a break. Because wherever Triquez Bridges was, that's where Sean Payton had the quarterback throwing it. They killed him. Killed him. The Big Rombowski said that strategy for Diggs should have been used after his first injury, when it was obvious he was afraid to commit to tackling again. If he wasn't feeling right, then Jerry and Steven needed to address it. Man, this is why we're gonna close out with Stephon Diggs, because I got to deal with this story on Stephon Diggs. This story with Stephon Diggs is insanely crazy. Niecy said Bubba Dub calls him flaming hot Cheetos. Talking about Trayvon Diggs. But I'm going to tell you about Trayvon Diggs, man. I said this, and people got mad at me. People got mad at me for saying this. Trayvon Diggs ain't healthy yet. I don't think Trayvon Diggs is healthy. I don't. Trayvon Diggs is coming off of 2 major knee surgeries. He had a bone graft on this last one, and he rushed back to play. And people were out here applauding this nonsense. Yeah, man, people owe Trayvon Diggs. I heard so many people. Somebody had sent me something in either in my comments or something, and they were saying, you owe Trayvon Diggs an apology. For what? If anything, I'm owed an apology. Trayvon Diggs is not right. Trayvon Diggs is not right, and I said he wasn't right. And now, I'm gonna show you in just a few moments, because I'm gonna get off here in another few minutes. But of all people to prove what I said was right is none other than Michael Parsons. You just see. I'm gonna show you in a moment. Niecy said the Marinelli tree is a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. She says a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Niecy, I do not understand the Marinelli coaching tree. Man, people be talking about this. Yeah, the Rod Marinelli. Man, I don't care about no Rod Marinelli coaching tree. Lisa Worley said we might talk about Donovan Wilson, but we look even worse with him. Yep. Lisa Worley, I appreciate you. She said, good morning, it's good to see you on TV. Yeah, my sleep is off. I used to stay up late. I've been getting up at about 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. So rather than doing the Cowboys after dark, I'm going to be doing the Cowboys morning show and the 4:30 show. So I'm going to be doing both of them. Now, my plan is to get off around 10-ish because I know Law Nation comes on around 10-ish and sometimes AOC. So I try to keep myself in between where a lot of people do stuff because there's so many of us doing stuff. And I don't like to try to invade on people's times. I mean, I don't know. I just try to respect people like that. So I went a little longer than I wanted to today. So I might even start a little earlier tomorrow. So I can try to be off around 10 o'clock because I know Law Nation typically goes on around that time. Yeah. Nisi said, because you like your guys, you can always add to make things better. Yeah. J. Doug said, Dak got to say that these players ain't going anywhere whether they make a trade or not. Yeah, they paid them. They paid them. So you this is why I said earlier, we're in a headlock. You can't cut these players. Because if you cut them, who you going to put in their place? You can't cut some of these players that you probably need to cut. Matt Eberflus, the more games you go, the less sense it makes to even do anything with Matt Eberflus. And I'm telling you now, if they don't cut him after the Arizona Cardinals game, shoot, you might as well ride it out. Because if you're going to let him coach against the Raiders, he'll probably beat the Raiders. You let him coach against Philly, we'll probably beat Philly. It's at home. So you get to the Kansas City Chiefs game, if the Kansas City Chiefs beat us at home on Thanksgiving Day, well, you could easily just say, well, that was Patrick Mahomes. Man, there'll be no point after that. It'll just be out of anger at that point. It won't even be out of trying to get better. Bass said, if you trade Mike and now our defense is abysmal, laugh out loud, you can add a game changer type of guy and it can make a world of difference. But, hey, what do I know? Now, keep in mind, Bass, this defense was struggling with Michael last year. And let me make sure, because I know how some of us are sensitive. And I'm not saying it was struggling because of Micah. Michael himself said on Thanksgiving, yeah, we finally got the system. Yeah. Brand new defense coordinator. It took you to Thanksgiving to get it. And that's when the defense started improving. So I got news for us. Cowboys maybe are hoping that they catch that genie in a bottle again. And then after Thanksgiving, guess what? They pick up. Bama Boy, I like this comment too. Bama Boy said, gee, it's not how Jerry spends his money. It's who Jerry spends his money on. That's why I'm telling us, the Cowboys aren't cheap. It's how they're spending the money is the problem. It's how they're spending the money. I mean, Angie brought up Michael Gallup. Come on. We were still paying Zeke and he wasn't even on the team. Man, Cowboys be throwing some serious money at some players and they don't turn out. Rombowski said fool is a bit of a harsh term. He said just the team will probably offer picking similar offer and being a legit wide receiver one means he's able to keep producing to try to get that second big contract later on down the road. Hey, I can tell you this, Rombowski. I'm telling you, with the way he's playing now, shoot, they're going to be throwing money at him. And I'm going to tell y'all this. George Pickens had some great games when CeeDee Lamb was not playing. This may shock some of y'all. The most impressive game for me, as it applies to George Pickens, has nothing to do with his stats. I already know the man can put up stats. I know George Pickens can ball. But the most impressive game to me so far for George Pickens is the Denver Broncos game. You want to talk about one player against the Denver Broncos who were playing. George Pickens was playing telling them boys, I'm not afraid. Shoot, this dude, George Pickens, was fired up against the Broncos. Man, if the offense would have been fired up like George Pickens, we beat them boys. We outscored them boys. Man, I'm telling you, George Pickens was playing like something was on the line. Everybody else was playing like Denver better than us. Shoot, not George Pickens. Let me tell you something. Had they winning that game plan and winning that game with the right game plan, shoot, Surtain, even if he didn't get hurt, his feelings would have been hurt. Pickens would have gave that man hell. Surtain he's probably the best corner in football. Shoot, I'm telling us right now, I don't think there's nobody that can handle George Pickens right now. I don't know what George Pickens is on. Whatever he on, everybody need to be on. George Pickens on something right now. And I'm not talking about drugs. Shoot, George Pickens on something right now. This dude is on another. I'm telling us, we don't have to talk about anybody else. I'm just telling you about George Pickens. He on one right now. George Pickens is on one right now. And I am telling you, he is telling this league, boy, y'all are dumb. Y'all are wrong about me. I got a quarterback. I'm going to show you what I look like with a quarterback. Shoot. George Pickens on one. He on one. And if there is somebody I want the Cowboys to spend their money on, it's George Pickens, boy. He on one right now. He unstoppable. Wait a minute. Hallelujah said, we have a legit question. Our team nickname still the Big D this year. Man, let me tell you something. There is no D anywhere in Dallas, according to Michael Irvin. The Big Rombowski said, not only is the Dak window closing, but you're also praying he doesn't go and have another major season-ending injury too. One more of those, and it's going to shorten his career window even more. I think he'll give up. I think Dak will probably give it up. And if he doesn't, it'll probably be only maybe a year or two. Dak is not going to keep going through those. Bass said, you get it. You may not like it. You might not like to accept it. He said, you're right. There isn't a cap on coaches. But the Joneses don't want an alpha coach. They want yes men coaches and beta coaches. Nisi said, leave Bazooka Joe alone. Nisi. Nisi, I just had to say it for what it was. That's why I say I ain't gonna slander him. I don't want nobody to perceive what I'm saying is bad, but I'm just telling you, he ain't Dak Prescott. People do not understand how great Dak Prescott is. They gonna know when he gone though. Yeah, they gonna know how good Dak Prescott was when he gone. Boy, Chanel said, imagine the Cowboys paid Jalen Smith with severe neck injury, then waited for him to come back to health, then traded him in 2021 to the Giants and still owed him $7.2 million while he was on the Giants. It's how we manage the money. That's what's wrong with us. Chanel, do you remember this? And Jalen Smith hit the Cowboys with the okie doke. Jalen Smith hit the Cowboys with the okie doke because he wound up having to have surgery, I think on his hand or his wrist or something in the season that the Cowboys were going to cut him early. He got the wrist injury and the next season was guaranteed. Put the okie doke on him. This is why if I'm the Cowboys and Trayvon Diggs, they both need to amicably depart. Trayvon Diggs needs to want to sit out the rest of the season. Get his knees right. The Cowboys shouldn't want Trayvon Diggs back on the field because if he's got a clause in his contract to where he gets hurt and his next year's salary is guaranteed, you can't put him back out there. It benefits both of them. Diggs is going to get his money this year. It's guaranteed. No problem. Diggs gets to go on. Get yourself right. Go somewhere else. Continue your career. Chanel said this amount was part of his original 5-year, $64 million contract with $35.5 million guaranteed. Imagine, chat, Dallas paid Jalen Smith that type of money with a fused spine. Chanel, let's not forget, the Cowboys were still paying Tony Romo under Dak Prescott's tenure. Still paying Tony Romo. It's how the Cowboys manage their money. That's one of their biggest issues. It's how they manage their money, and it's how they pay their coaches. Brian Broaddus spoke truth on this yesterday. They don't put any value on safeties in the draft or defensive tackle. And USMC, the Cowboys did try to get a defensive tackle. His name is Mozzie Smith. He just didn't work. Mozzie Smith didn't work because Dan Quinn didn't want Mozzie Smith. Dan Quinn tried to turn Mozzie Smith into something else. Mike Zimmer came back and let Mozzie Zimmer comes in, lets Mozzie be who he is. And then for some reason he comes back this year, and what is he again? He's lost weight again. I don't know what it is. Nisi said, I don't know what the conversation between Diggs and Stephen Jones was, but Stephen is not giving him any grace. He's not getting the Sean Lee treatment. No, they don't like Diggs. I think they don't like Diggs for multiple reasons, Nisi. I don't think they like Diggs because, and I'm not sure if it's because they paid him and he got hurt. I don't think that's the reason. But it was the first rehab. The Cowboys were mad about the first rehab because they were saying that he didn't rehab hard enough. They were saying he didn't put anything into the rehab. So now he's went and got the other rehab. And this is where I'm confused. I don't understand where the knee thing is coming from. I don't know where the knee thing is coming from. I'm confused. I'm totally confused on the knee thing with Trayvon Diggs. That's why I'm now to the point where, hey, what's going on? What the world is going on with Trayvon Diggs? Because this stinks so bad, it's terrible. I believe the Cowboys would cut Trayvon Diggs if it's not like they can't, but the Cowboys don't believe, for the most part, hey, they're paying him, they want him to stay on the team. We know he gone next year. Dak fan for life. Appreciate that super chat. He said George Pickens has the best hands in the league. Let me tell you what I appreciate about George Pickens. His mentality reminds me of Michael Irvin. His mentality reminds me of Michael Irvin. This dude out there doing this dude is out there playing in a whole different universe. He playing somewhere else. I'm telling y'all, this dude's mind is somewhere else. He is on a whole nother level out there. USMC, here's the big question. Should we have paid Bland that money before Pickens? Woo, man. USMC, let me tell you why they paid Bland before Pickens. Because Pickens has already said he don't want to be paid right now. He wants to wait until the end of the season. But I also think that's code for if the Cowboys approach him this season, they better be approaching him with Justin Jefferson money. Rumbowski is right. I mean, somebody might actually throw Jamar Chase money at him. Because at this point, he's worth it. We're going to see how this season ends, but at this point, he's doggone worth it. The big Rumbowski said, I'm more afraid of Andy Reid going up against this Dallas defense with Mahomes as his weapon than Mahomes himself. Yeah. Angie said it too. Angie said Mahomes against this defense. Woo! Man, let me tell you. Angie, I'm going back to that reality. Angie, I'm going back to that reality. We're going to have to put up 50 on them boys. Only way we beating the doggone Kansas City Chiefs here, we're going to put up 50. You're going to put up 50. Wally Wall, he played tough, unlike CD in the past. Now, Wally Wall, let me say this about CD. CeeDee Lamb, top 3 wide receiver in this game. CeeDee Lamb is a very tough receiver. CeeDee Lamb has been, he took a beating last year. He took a beating last year, and a lot of people don't realize it, and some of y'all do. I know a lot of y'all do realize it. He took a beating last year. CeeDee Lamb is one of the most dangerous wide receivers we have in this league after the catch. But he's a finesse wide receiver. He's a finesse wide receiver. And that don't mean he's soft, because he ain't soft. Now, CD do his thing. He's also coming off of an injury. Right now, George Pickens is just playing. It's not CeeDee Lamb. It's not that he's better than CeeDee Lamb. I think they're 2 different type of receivers. But, man, George Pickens right now is just playing. He's just playing better than everybody to me. I mean, he just out there. Just think about how they looked. Just think about how they looked with CeeDee Lamb not there when he was the primary target. Shoot, it looked like CeeDee Lamb in 2023. Yeah, I'm not going to forget. Shoot, CeeDee Lamb has done this too. Shoot, CeeDee Lamb was next level 2023. They beat CeeDee Lamb up last year. CeeDee Lamb took a beating last year, being the only wide receiver here. Now he's gotten hurt this year. And boy, let me tell you something. When they ran that doggone sweep with CeeDee Lamb in the Denver Bronco game, man, let me tell you something. In my knee-jerk reaction mind, I was like, boy, fire Matty. I mean, me and fire Brian shot. That was a split second. But I'm like, Brian, what you doing? You gonna run the man on the same play that got him hurt in the Bears game? Boy, sometimes, man, I'm sorry. If I'm Jerry Jones, I'm stepping in on this. If I'm Jerry, I'm telling Brian, hey, man, don't run CD on that no more. Don't run CD on that no more. You got Jaden Blue. You got Kevontae Turpin. You run those speed guys on that. Don't run CD on that no more. That's crazy to me. I don't understand that. But hey, let me tell you something. I'm not gonna forget about CeeDee Lamb. Nah, he ain't no punk. He ain't no punk. Nisi, I was doing good for a moment there. I was doing good for a moment. Yeah, I done slipped up. All right. USMC said if they don't sign Pickens and actually really make change to the defense, I won't be surprised if Dak retires after the season. USMC. It is imperative. It is imperative. You cannot allow Michael Parsons to walk out the door and not sign George Pickens. You cannot do this. Under any circumstances, I'm telling y'all, the Cowboys in any multiverse cannot allow George Pickens to walk. They can't. They can't. If Michael Parsons is one of the biggest changes they've had on defense, what do you think George Pickens is going to be to the offense? Dak and CD, they'll still be Dak and CD. But Dak, CD, and George Pickens, that's a whole different ball game. And imagine, we're looking at the first year. What do you think happens the second year? CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens together in the second year. Let me tell you, this league don't even want to see it. They don't even want to see it. Them boys crazy. Them boys crazy. Hallelujah. He said Jerry Pickens. He picking another two offensive linemen in the next 2 drafts. He better not, man. Boy, he better not. Straight up better not. Angie, I 1,000% agree. Mozzie Smith is going to look better somewhere else. He's going to look better somewhere else. Bass, this could be a part of it. They feel like Diggs fleeced them. I think the Diggs thing is just unfortunate. I do. I just think it's unfortunate. I just think this all it is at the end of the day. It's unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. It happens. You sign a player, he gets hurt. And when you start messing with wide receivers' knees and cornerbacks' knees, it's tough. Trent Smith, he said, I see what Pickens was doing also. He was talking trash to them boys. I was thinking I was the only one who saw that. Trent Smith. Shoot, that dude was getting up every, woo! Boy, Pickens was on one, man. Pickens was on one. I'm like, boy, if this offense had that dude's attitude against Denver, we beat them. Man, stop it, Rombowski. He said Mozzie would be better walking across the street and joining the Arlington Renegades. Stop it. Boy. Rebel Chick said, Fluke's not liking Diggs is comical, barely know the dude. That's Jerry and Son, and he just following suit. Angie, I was just about to say that. This is one of the things that make me so mad. When somebody don't like you because somebody else don't like you, that makes me so mad I don't know what to do. There are people out there who are missing out on some of the greatest relationships they could probably have in their life because there's somebody that don't like this person and they've told them, I don't like them, so they don't fool with them. Now, what you need to be asking yourself is why they don't like that person. All right, let's get over here. We heard the rest of Dak's message. And so let's close out with this. And I think what we'll do, we're going to come back this afternoon. We're going to come back with Stephen Jones. We're going to come back with the player reactions. We're going to come back with the shoddy presser, Stephen Jones presser. And I'm going to come back with the Diggs lie. Because I'm telling you, this stuff with Trayvon Diggs, it absolutely stinks. I mean, it absolutely stinks. And I'm ready for it to be over. And I want it to be over for the team. And I want it to be over for the Cowboys. I do. I want it to be over for the Cowboys. I mean, not the Cowboys. I want it to be over for the Cowboys, and I want it to be over for Diggs. Sometimes you just got to count your losses, man, and just, charge it to the game, as Master P used to say. It's time to charge it to the game. Trayvon Diggs needs to just focus on getting healthy. Just focus on getting healthy. Come back with another team next year and show the Cowboys, just like George Pickens is showing the Pittsburgh Steelers, I told you I was still good. All right, let's go on to the NFC East race, and then we're going to finish and let this thing get back and make room for some other content creators. Let's go.
Yes! Here we go!
All right, let's look at this NFC East race. Boy, I'm telling y'all. Let me tell y'all something. I was looking at this last night, and I'm telling y'all, this is the reason why we don't want to give up on this season. Let me tell you why you don't want to give up. Check this out. This is the playoff race. I got news for us. Cowboys are still in it. The Cowboys are at number 10. Now, the problem the Cowboys are facing is they got beat by the Bears and the Panthers. That's going to be a problem. But the Cowboys are currently sitting at number 10. The Philadelphia Eagles are currently sitting at number 2. I want to see how this turns out for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to go through a stretch that's going to be pretty tough. We're going to see how it's going to go. I really think the best road for the Cowboys is winning the NFC East, but that's becoming less and less of a possibility. But at the same time, the Bears and the Panthers, We got a pretty tough schedule coming up too. Not saying we don't, we do too. But we have a pretty tough schedule coming up. But if you look at this, the reason why we should also be encouraged. Cowboys are 3-4-1. The Cowboys are now in a situation. They don't actually have to have a better record than the Bears, the Panthers, or the 49ers. The Cowboys just need to tie with the 49ers. They need to have the same amount of wins as the 49ers, the Bears, or the Panthers, or maybe even the Rams. If the Cowboys can get the same amount of wins as the Rams, the 49ers, the Bears, and the Panthers, the Cowboys are going to the playoffs. They are going to the playoffs if they can pull this off. And again, I'm not trying to give you hope here. I'm just giving you the facts of where the Cowboys are. This Arizona Cardinals game is a very winnable game for the Cowboys. I just don't think 40 points is in the Cardinals. But I know 40 points is in the Cowboys. I know 40 points is in the Cowboys. The Cowboys could literally put up 40 points on any given day. If I told you the Cowboys are going to put up 40 on the Kansas City Chiefs, you shouldn't be surprised. I'm also telling you don't be surprised if Patrick Mahomes could put up 50 on the Cowboys defense. Two things can be true. But I can tell you this, Cowboys not out of this. They are not out of this by far. And a lot of people are mad that Stephen Jones said that he believes the Cowboys are still a playoff team. Well, aren't they? Aren't they still in the playoffs? Or, I'm sorry, not in the playoffs, but they're still in the hunt. It's called on the bubble. But you do know if they beat the Carolina Panthers, beat the Arizona Cardinals, they're still on the bubble. Let me go back here for a second. Let's see. Who's playing this week? The Cowboys are still in this. Don't let nobody tell you they're not. I know people love to just throw a team. I know the Cowboys defense is absolute trash. I get it. But that don't mean that the Cowboys are out of this thing. See what we're looking at this week. We are in week 9, right? So these are the games that I will be having my eyes on this week. We're going to start having an NFC. We're going to start having an NFC portion of our show coming up here in the next few, from this point forward. But when we look at the schedule this week, we got the Bears against the Bengals. The Bengals look good against Pittsburgh. They got beat this past week. The Bears are going to Cincinnati. Cincinnati Bengals might be able to pull that off. We already saw the Washington Commanders get demolished last night. And the two teams I got my eyes on are the Panthers. And I got a strange feeling. Maybe I'm reaching here. Maybe I'm reaching, but I got a strange feeling. I have a strange feeling that the Green Bay Packers are going to make mincemeat of the Carolina Panthers. Call me crazy, but I think the Packers are going to beat the Carolina Panthers. The Bengals and the Bears are a toss-up. Cowboys just got to take care of business. Cowboys need to beat the Arizona Cardinals. I got a feeling this week the Cowboys will either move up to number 8 or number 9. The Cowboys will move up to either number 8 or number 9. The other team we need to keep our eyes on. 49ers are playing the Giants. Don't let the Giants fool you. Scatty Boo is a big miss. It's going to be missed by them. But Jackson Dart, he's a rookie. Nobody's got a lot of tape on him. He's surprising a lot of teams. 49ers are kind of hurt too. This could go either way, even though I'm thinking it's going to be the 49ers. I would not be surprised if it's the Giants. So those are the 3 games that I'm going to keep my eye on this week, because if the Cowboys beat the Arizona Cardinals, the Cowboys are going to move up to either number 9 or number 8. We're going to keep our eyes on this every single week. Every single week, we're going to keep our eyes on this, because the Cowboys have to keep, this is how they got to stay motivated. With as bad as their defense is playing, trade deadline coming up, Jerry's going to get the team somebody, y'all. You watch what I tell you. I'm not telling you you're going to like who it is, but Jerry going to get you somebody. The Cowboys are going to get somebody in the trade at the trade deadline. Overshown will be back. Butler, Josh will be back. Savon will be back. We're going to see what happens. But the Cowboys are still in it. Angie said, G, Pete, they ran Turp the same way right after CD, and Turp even got clobbered. Angie, I got a problem with even the way they're doing Cavante Turpin. We got to understand Turpin is a smaller dude too. Only reason I would say Turpin is his speed, but he's a smaller dude too. I don't know why they like that play so much. I really don't, Angie. Appreciate that super chat. I don't know why they like that play so much. I really don't know why they like it. But I like to lost my mind when they allowed CeeDee Lamb to run that play. I don't understand it. How you gonna let the man run the same play that got him hurt? I don't understand it. Man, I'm sorry. If I'm Jerry, I'm calling down there and I'm saying, hey, man, don't run that play to this dude no more. Yeah, hot boy. Nah, I don't think we have to worry about Green Bay. Green Bay way too far out there right now. They're not even something we even need to be, oh, you talking about the pick. Well, you know what, hot boy? I wouldn't be so concerned about the pick. It is what it is. We'll see how the end of the season turn out. But even if they're drafting that pick at the bottom of the first round, I keep hearing these next 2 drafts are going to be great. That's just what I keep hearing. Poopy D, what's up with you? We got our morning show going now. We're going to do a morning show. We're going to be back today at 4:30. Big Rumbowski. Let me see what you said here. You said the Lions, the Packers, and the NFC North. The Rams and the 49ers. Well, Rumbowski, we're not worried about them. Yeah, we're not worried about them, Rumbowski, because they already got those. I'm not saying they got those already sold up, but I think at this point, based on everything I've seen, this is actually the playoff picture. The only thing that is going to move is the 7th seed, barring nobody gets any kind of crazy injury. The 7th seed is the only hope for the Cowboys, the Bears, and the Panthers. I think it's the only hope. I think that's where we are at this point. So the margin for error for the Cowboys becomes smaller and smaller by the week. This is why they got to cry. This is why a lot of people don't like what Jerry said. They don't like what Jerry said, Rumbowski, but it's the truth. The truth of this matter is the Cowboys do have to continue to grind. The Cowboys are going to have to continue to grind because you just never know what's going to happen. The Cowboys have got to try to put themselves at the number 8 spot, hoping that something happens right here. Because at the end of the day, do we think the 49ers are going to win more than 10 games? I mean, I'm asking that because I really don't know. You know, will the 49ers win 10 games? Will they win more than 10 games? Because if the Cowboys can get to the 10-win mark, if they can get to the 10-win mark, maybe they could be in a tie with the 49ers with wins. And if they're in a tie with the 49ers on wins, that tie game is going to be the saving grace of the Cowboys. All right. Man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me this morning. Sorry we didn't get to everything. That Cowboys identity, I spent a little bit too much time on that, but we'll be back. So this afternoon, when we come back this afternoon at around 4:30, we're going to deal with Stephen Jones, player reactions, Schotty's presser. He may have a new one. Schotty's presser. We'll also talk about Jerry Jones. I'm pretty sure he's already came on. We're gonna talk a little bit about the Diggs lie. I don't want to spend too much time on it. I know it's a very sensitive subject for some of us. We'll talk a little bit about the Diggs lie and whatever else has come up about the Dallas Cowboys. All right, guys. Y'all tell me what you think. See y'all at 4:30. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys and we talk facts. Peace.